Okay, everyone. Uh, Great to have everyone join us here. And that was our theme song for AI Tutor Pro, AI Teaching Assistant Pro. And it was AI generated by a website called Marika. And the music before that was also AI uh, Tutor Pro generated and shared to everyone. So Michael La Riviere is with us today. He's going to be handling our inquiries, the technical inquiries that feel free to post them in the Q&A preferably, but also chat. We'll be monitoring that as well. Uh, Michael is Enterprise Web Architect at Contact North, and he's also going to be sharing a bit of the presentation today. And also Sarah Gavro is our Zoom coordinator, and she's going to be also reading questions and sharing them with me orally when the situation arises. So again, I'm Ron Owston. I'm Higher Education and Research Associate at Contact North in Ontario, Canada here, former professor at York University. I'm pleased to see colleagues from York University who signed up today. We've got a large contingent really from around the world, from Ontario, of course, our home province here, from Canada, the US, and over into Europe, Middle East, and Africa, a large group from South Africa, and as far away as New Zealand, we've got registrations. So welcome all, and I hope you find this a very rewarding session here. We've done two others, and it's been fun. It's been great to be able to share the work that we're doing. We're excited about it. I've been the academic lead of the project, designing our tools and monitoring their progress. And it's terrific to be able to now share them and some of the unique features that people may not even know about and then answer your questions. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to now bring up the screen sharing again and share with you our agenda today. Sarah, would you launch the poll, please? I just want to get an idea of how participants are experiencing AI Tutor Pro. Just a couple of questions there for you. Just two questions, actually. Your use of AI Tutor Pro. So I have an idea whether you're frequent or I've never used it, which is fine. It's really for everyone. I've tried to create a middle ground here, showing advanced features for those who have used it before and very few of you, it looks like. But anyway, we'll go through all the features, and hopefully you'll find this very valuable. The meeting, of course, is being recorded, and if you're not able to stay the full day, we're certainly you're going to be receiving the recording. Also, I'd like to say that if you do stay for the whole institute and wish to receive a badge for participation, which you may want to put on your website or share in your professional development folder, um, we'll send that to you. Sarah, I'll have Sarah's email at the end, but it's Sarah G at Contact North. Sarah with an H, that is, with Sarah G at contactnorth.ca. I'll have that up at the end and you can get it there as well. Perhaps Michael could put it in the chat as well. So if you want it now. So uh, also we're offering 8 free learning shorts as well to anyone who participates. I'll be explaining learning shorts, of course. And you will, if normally you get 6 at most, and we're giving 8 learning shorts as well for any of the participants. So it looks like we've got quite a few people here who have never used AI Tutor Pro, and the same with the teaching assistant as well, and a few frequent users, but not very many. So that's fine. That's great. I'm going to just end the poll now, and we'll begin our session here. Okay, so I'm going to go into screen sharing and we'll begin. I'll give you the agenda for today. So okay, we're all set here. Okay. I'm sharing my whole screen rather than just the browser. So occasionally you might see my whole screen flash up. That's because for you to see some of the pop-up features and so on, it's necessary. So um, get over here, and you'll see me looking over to the right as well. I've got two screens going, trying to coordinate everything. So looks like everything is working well here now. So, okay, our agenda. So I'm going to start with a basic overview of the features of AI Tutor Pro, and I'm going to then go into hands-on activities. Sorry, let's go back. I jumped a bit here. Let's go back to here. This is really the agenda here. We're doing AI Tutor Pro first, then going to Teaching Assistant. Then we'll have about an hour break with some hands-on activity for you. Then very excited about our panel discussion. We'll have 6 educators from around the world sharing their experiences using our apps. And then at from 2 to 3, I'll be sharing some teaching suggestions, how you may use our tools in your teaching and learning. So we've got mainly faculty here, a number of instructional designers and other related instructional support staff at colleges and institutions around the world. A few private organizations as well have registered. So, but anyway, welcome all. Great to have everyone. Also, I guess I should give a special shout out to Humber Polytech here in Toronto, Humber College, formerly. They've got a very large group, and I hope you get a chance to benefit from it and have discussion groups back on campus about your experiences today. Okay, so that's our activity lineup for the day. AI Tutor Pro first. I'm going to go over the features of AI Tutor Pro hands-on, and I'm going to get into some other tools. We have the new Discuss tool, very excited about that, and some special features that are documented but probably not very well known. And what's ahead? Our new design, we're actually launching a new design, complete redesign of our AI Tutor Pro website. Thought we'd have it ready for today, but we're not quite ready for it. Michael's going to give you a preview. I'm going to talk about verified answers as well in the STEM fields and question and answer before moving on to Teaching Assistant Pro later. So let's jump in, and we're going to look first at AI Tutor Pro. And I've enlarged the screen so you're not seeing the app fully on my screen here to make it easier for you to read. So very simple URL, aitutorpro.ca. And we navigating our screen here, I always encourage you to look at our latest updates. And we've got, we don't update that often, but every few weeks, every month or so, there's going to be a new item here. We just launched our newsletter. In case you didn't get that, you can read the newsletter here and other features throughout. And I'll be referring back to some of those today as well. So, so basically AI Tutor Pro, it's a tutor that you can learn anything, anytime, really anywhere, up to 30 languages. The interface, though, is only in French and English, but the dialogue, the text can be up to 30 different languages, and essentially any subject you can think of, AI Tutor Pro is going to support learning. And very important for you to know is, and I'll highlight this even, that we do not collect any personal data. You'll notice that when you go to AI Tutor Pro, there's no login, nothing pops up for you. And unlike every other tool you run across on the web, they say free access. And sure enough, first thing they do is you click and they pop up, yeah, now you've got to register. So no, you can see we certainly don't do that. So it is secure, anonymous, and of course you should never put any personal data in that would identify you. We've got an introductory video here explaining welcome, and then I'm going to go over the features of our 3 tools: the Check, the Grow, and Discuss tool. But if you want further information on our privacy policy, please click on the bottom here. And if you need to give us any feedback, comments, questions, always feel free to click on the comment or feedback button. Okay. So now, just jumping to a bit of an explanation of our 3 features here. It's important for you to Okay, first, I think I'll just share this before I go into the features. Yeah, this is important, I think, to know that tutoring, actually AI tutoring has proven to be quite effective for students. I'm not suggesting this is a way of well, the students would learn all day, every day. No, it's something that can supplement their learning. But Harvard University did an interesting study which was published, and Michael will put up the URL for that. And they found that in fact students were learning significantly better using AI tutors, and they also, what was very interesting, one of the gold standards of those of you who are into teaching support will know active learning is one of the standards what we use for saying, well, this is a way of engaging students in a class. Well, in fact, they found that their AI tutor, students who are using active learning in class didn't do quite as well as the ones who were doing the tutoring. So very interesting results here. And there have been other similar studies as well. I'm not saying students are going to learn any great things so much more, but it's a way of supporting their learning and enhancing their learning. It's certainly not going to be detracting from their learning. So anyway, getting back here to our tools, I want to describe the rationale of the three tools that we have within the app. So the check tool, this is the one everyone goes to first. It's our most popular, but you should understand the purpose of it. The purpose really is to reinforce your current understanding of a topic. And research has shown that one of the most effective ways to support learning is through self-testing. And in fact, what the check tool does is really self-check your understanding of a topic. So after a student participates in a lecture, let's say a class, they go to AI Tutor Pro and use the check tool to sort of reinforce what they've understood. Their retention will be much greater than just trying to just read over the class notes and so on. So reinforcement is very important. There's an excellent podcast about that. Dr. Huberman from Stanford University. Michael can put up the link for that as well. He offers, oh yeah, Dr. Andrew Huberman, neuroscientist at Stanford University, talks about study habits of effective students, and one of them, absolutely at the top, is self-assessment, self-testing. If students check themselves through self-testing before taking, say, a final exam or test, their learning is going to be as much better. The retention of the material is going to be much better, rather than just rereading notes and rereading and rereading and studying and rereading. So anyway, that's the rationale for the check tool. So it's important to understand, and you'll see that there's feedback, but not a lot of reinforcement if you get the incorrect answer. Going down to the grow tool, it's the Socratic method. It's guides you through through learning process, learning new material. You start with where you are, and then get questioned about that, and progressively learn about the concepts that you're looking at. So that's the grow tool, and the discuss tool uses another design feature, actually, what's known as the zone of proximal development. ZPD or ZPD. It's the idea promoted by Vygotsky, and the idea with this is that you ask a question slightly harder than the learner's current understanding of a topic, and you guide the learner through that process of increasing their understanding of it. So that was the design of the discuss tool, which is our voice tool. We're very excited about the voice tool. So, okay, let's go back to AI Tutor Pro and then show these in action. Okay, the check tool. Okay, going here again, we've got an introductory video, which I won't play right now. We've got two choices here, a specific content, that's the default, and that's the one that most people would use. So I'm going to do one right now that world oil prices. They're all kind of interested in that these days when we go to the gas pumps. So just I'll explain here our response language. We've got our 30 different languages here all together. But of course, if the interface is in French and is over here, if you click that, you can have that version as well. Now, the learning level, that is the complexity really of the language, the way concepts are presented and explained. You can check from the basic, undergraduate, or what we label as professional. So we'll start this topic and I'll explain how it works. World oil prices. So we get into this and okay, what's one major reason world prices rise when global demand increases faster than supply? So we look at this and say, well, okay, um, more shorter, well, we will say what, scarcity, scarcity, the scarcity, well, I'll just put scarcity, scarcity, whatever. Okay, that's right. When demand grows faster than supply, oil becomes relatively scarce, pushes up prices. Um, Notice that, okay, I'm going to now put an answer. I'm going to say, tell me the answer. Let's say there's a choice here. It will give you the answer. Not the Socratic tutor, the grow tool will not do that though. So, okay, uh, so we can do that. We can also say things like, I don't know, like the acronym IDK, I don't know, and you'll get your answer here as well. Okay, and then we have the option always of asking another question, and we get it here. Okay, how does the stronger US dollar affect world prices for buyers using other currency? I could say uh, they track the US dollar. Okay, and so on. Okay, it doesn't understand my question. But anyway, we won't worry about that. Of my response, I should say. So what we're going to do now is click done. And what happens here, I didn't do very well on these questions, but anyway, we won't worry about that right now. When you click done, a table is generated, and this table will list the original question, your correct answer, the correct answer, and the answer that you gave. And if you get it completely correct, you get a score of 10. Very arbitrary. If you don't know it, you'll get a 0. And I didn't know any of these here. I got sort of a 5 for that, the possible answer sort of. So I got 15 out of 50. You can take these results with a grain of salt, but it gives you some indication of how you're doing. You have the option, actually, by clicking on this, of sharing the link uh, on X, Facebook, or LinkedIn, which may be useful if you are using one of these tools, say in class. You may not be, but then you can get also by copying this, you can get the URL and the table itself, and that can be pasted into and say in your learning management system, students could submit their results that way. You also, on this tool at the top, will paste the whole page, so you have a complete record of answers. Now, since you don't log in, you won't be able to save your answers. That's the trade-off with not having login with this tool. Okay, so we'll just quit this. No, I won't quit that yet. No, I want to go to help me improve. This is a unique tool that we have, and what it does is it will send a summary of your strengths and weaknesses on the set of questions you asked and answered. And you consent to this. We don't keep your information, by the way, once you do this, but you'll get an email pretty well right away. You'll get a response, and I'll just check my email in a minute and you'll see it coming through. And a very useful feature for self-improvement and feedback. So I'll just drop this, go into my email here over in my right screen, and see if it's there yet. I don't have it yet. Okay. Don't have it yet, so I'll come back and look and see. I'll just okay. Uh, okay, now next we my content is another interesting feature here, and what you can do is you can upload a file. We're trying to increase the size limit here, but right now it's fairly limited in terms of really it's 10,000 words roughly. So, or you can just paste and copy any kind of text uh, into here. So what you can do is choose a file, upload it. I've got desktop here. I've got something here. Okay, here's a little document on climate change, and so I'll upload that document, the effects of climate change on global ecosystems. Okay, um, so what we can do then is right away it'll look at the document, analyze it, and start asking questions about it. So this is really useful, though. Let's say you're giving students a handout, notes, an article to read. They can upload it here, and then they can go through and check their understanding. It also works on the Grow tool as well, so you can do that. Um, and then we won't bother answering that right now, but the same principles apply. Undocumented, though, is another interesting feature for my content. You can actually upload images. We need to improve the documentation of that. And so, oh yeah, here it is here, simple equation. And I upload this. Here's the a simple equation. I just took a picture of took a picture off the web with this screenshot. And now we can use that as the basis of our discussion, or it could be a picture of anything, basically. But important to know that it doesn't interpret, if it's a photograph, like say a photograph of the Mona Lisa, it's not going to identify it as the Mona Lisa. It'll say it's a picture of a woman. That's probably will say that. But so that's important. It doesn't have true intelligence in interpreting the pictures, but it does a pretty good job at the general gist of what's in the picture. So good. You can handwrite something, snap it, and that says students got a problem set and say this works well in math. Students working on a problem, they can take a snapshot of it on their phone and then make it bring it up into the tutor. Also undocumented is that we can actually put in a URL here. Sorry, I'd get that here. I'm going to go, say, to Wikipedia, Wikipedia Canada, let's say. So the student's on a web page somewhere, you tell them to go to a web page, copy the link, and you can put that actually in here in the chat, and let's see what happens. It should start. It should work. Okay, so it's taking right from the Wikipedia page, the capital city of Canada. So there we are. That's we have to do improve. In fact, we're going to be working on the new version that we're launching very shortly. We'll be making that more explicit so we can choose both files, text, and a URL. You can also put in a YouTube URL, say there's a lecture capture student wanted to put the link for that the lecture in there. That would work as well. Okay, so we'll jump now to the Grow tool. We can go back home, which I'll do, or to the hamburger menu up on the right, but we'll go back home. Grow tool. So it works really the same, and I want to show you the difference. I'll put in the same topic, world oil prices, and we've got another level here. Whether we want sort of a more intermediate understanding of it or advanced, and I'll illustrate the difference of those. And again, this is the language, sort of how simple the language would be, sort of more professional language or very basic language. I'll leave it like this, world oil prices. Okay. And so remember, this is the Socratic questioning to help you increase your understanding of a topic. Okay. So if you think a major factor that can make world prices go up, down, supply, demand. I'll say all of those, all of uh, all of them. Okay, yeah, all the matter. Okay, and it gives you some background. If world prices are shaped by both supply and demand and policy. Okay. Tell me, okay, give me one simple example how changes supply, right? Well, we all know about this right now with Iran. What's happening over there with supply? Okay, okay, but let's say let's say a pipeline closes or something like that. Yeah, okay. So now what is an example of a change in demand? And I can also put the same things. I don't know, but it's not going to tell me the answer. It's sort of reinforcing you saying, well, that's okay if you don't know. Now think about times when people and firms use less fuel. And I'm just going to say, can you name one situation where people or businesses might use less oil? I'm going to just say, tell me the answer. Now, if you noticed in the check tool, you got the answer. Uh, uh, so this way, it doesn't really just go on to the sort of total next question. It sort of builds on that. Uh, just tell me, and it usually it encourages you to think more about it, and it gives you feedback on what you're asking or replying. So different, and but let's go back up here. We'll look at the opening question. Why do you think one major factor, okay, really world prices go up, down, or supply? Okay, let's just go back to topic difficulty and put advanced and see how it responds to that, how what the question would be like for that. Okay, a little more technical. Global price rises sharply were two major forces uh, that may have caused it, the supply side and one the demand side. So you can see it's a more complex question. So we'll stop that. And also we'll go back, say, to the introductory level, and then we'll go to a very basic here and then start that. Okay, when you hear oil prices go up, what do you think might cause that? So you see a simpler um, presentation of the concepts. So we have the capability of copying the transcript of our session, and if you're giving students an assignment and you wanted them to submit this, you could just tell them copy, again put it into LMS, and then submit it. So we've got the other feature, of course, ask me another question as well, but we do not have the summary table with this tool. And the same things work with my content and so on. So let's see where we are here in our schedule. Let's go back here and okay, let's take a break here, Sarah. And are there any questions that we have here before I continue?
Hi, Ron. Nope, there currently isn't any question. Oh, hold on. Someone just put one in the Q&A. Rebecca asked, if someone were to put in the exact same prompt in a new session, would it give the exact same question?
Uh, no, unfortunately, it won't. It won't do that. Oops. It not always, I should say. It's AI, so you can't count on it giving the exact same question. So that's a strength and a weakness. So a student goes back, a user goes back with the same topic, they'll probably get very similar questions, but it could be a little different. So you can't really count on that. So, but that's just the way AI does respond. It responds to sort of what's the closest to the topic, and sometimes that closeness could be a toss-up. What they're going to ask, the way the words come together with that. in the large language models, the way they work, it may not give exactly the same. Was there another question, Sarah?
Yep, a few just
Okay.
popped up in the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
Irene asks, are there restrictions on text entry, such as the use of swear words?
Yeah, to some extent, yes, that's a good point, and I'm glad you raised it too, because uh, it'll be how it responds. Of course, you can type the words in, but it's not going to respond to them. And it's very important also too. We're actually running Chat GPT off of a university server, and that server has added filters for content. In fact, probably more than you'd get when you go directly through Chat GPT. So if you ask questions like, how do I build a pipe bomb? It's not going to work. Or you might, if a student asks a question, say, how can I commit suicide? That's not going to work either. It's going to refer you to, say, speak to a professional, and so on. Or else it may say, just, I can't answer that question for something like pipe bomb or whatever it might be, some destructive means. So it is filtered that way, yes. Yeah. And in fact, all AI tools, ChatGPT in particular, have increased their filtering of content over time. So that's actually a good thing, and it's led to a bit of problem with us because sometimes some say content related to gender or sex is a valid, certainly a valid academic area of study. And anatomy as well, of course. So we have to try to make it not filter some of those legitimate questions. So that's a bit of a challenge we had. So anyway, good point, and I'm glad you raised it because I should have mentioned that earlier on that we do have that. So I think you could feel quite safe with students and not being able to abuse it. If you're getting into high school, like at say grade 11 and 12, I think you're quite safe using it there. But yeah. So, but anything lower, it's always recommended at lower grades, younger age, it's always recommended to have teacher guidance and using it. Anything else right now, Sarah, that
Well, there's a few that are asking about intellectual property or academic
oh,
integrity. So
yeah, oh,
try
okay,
to,
yeah.
they're all kind
Oh,
of similar. So I'll just pick one.
okay, yeah, sure, do that, yeah.
Claire asked, I assume the idea is for students to upload their own lecture notes. Have you received any concerns about students uploading their instructors' lecture notes? Think a
Okay.
question on the site at this point would be copyright and intellectual property. So
Yeah, 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 of course, yeah. Y Okay, I guess there's two things. An instructor can encourage their students to upload their notes. Okay, that's one thing. Um, Second thing, if they don't want them reused, students can use them anyway with our tool or other tools. The thing is, if they use our tool, we have it set so nothing is retained. So if that intellectual property is there, it's uploaded, it's not retained by ChatGPT. However, if they go into regular ChatGPT or any of them, Gemini or any of them, unless they explicitly ask for it not to be retained, it will be retained. So your documents of your faculty member do have legitimate concern if it's going to one of the other tools. Now, if it's a published work that's copyrighted, we're not retaining it. That's important to note. But at the same time, the terms and agreements with your institution for the library of your institution, let's say, may prevent it from being used, uploaded to another server. Even though we're not retaining it, they may still object to it. So it's hard to say. I guess you better if for published material, copyrighted material, you're better off probably not using it, not encouraging it, because there could be issues. But realizing, of course, the students could easily upload that article into just ChatGPT directly. but and it will retain there, but be retained there, but not in our tool. It won't be retained. That's the default is no retention of any chat history or personal information. I should note while we're talking about it, Michael also screens our data on a regular basis for any biases. And we have a tool that he's developed, and he screens it for biases in language. And it hasn't found any issues in over 2.5 million, 2.7 or so million interactions. We haven't found any issues. Yeah, I think we better jump in. We'll have time later, I think, Sarah, for questions if there are any more, but we'll jump into the next part. I'm excited to share that as well. I'll share my whole screen here again. Our, I, going back over here just to our agenda. Okay, so, okay, I'm going to, nope, too far here. Um, I'm going to, there was our agenda. Okay. Now I'm going to, I didn't get into hands-on, but I wanted to actually have a little exercise. We can do this later as well. And but I want to get into our discuss tool. It's taking longer to go through some of our tools because we've got more features, more interesting features. So anyway, here we go. Next into our discuss tool, which I really think we are probably the only tutor, certainly the only tutor that doesn't require sign up and probably a payment to have a voice tutor. So let's do a different topic. I've got a real good list of topics here that I want to share with you, and we'll just add some variety. And okay, so we have a number of people from different fields. Let's say the okay, this I've got yeah, here's a good one here, I thought. Okay. And we'll see how this works with the tutor. Okay, misinformation, deep fakes, and digital trust. We have a choice of voices here. We'll do this the default first and then see how it is. And we also have our 30 different languages, which is really a great opportunity if you're practicing in another language or if another language is your first language. Great possibilities there. Uh, Also, it helps with accessibility in terms of students who are studying in English, but that's not their mother tongue. So we'll first start with live transcript. So you can just have a normal conversation with our tutor. And we've seen students or users, let's say, we can't say they're students for sure because we don't know who's using our tool, who will spend up to a half an hour grilling themselves on different terms, sounding like they're prepping for an exam. So anyway, you've got you can do things like give me an easier question, give me a hint, I don't know, help me, give me a harder question, and so on. So let's see how it goes.
Hi there. I'm Hi.
I've got to just increase the volume. I hope you're hearing it okay.
Sure, I can hear you better now. Let me know if you need to adjust anything else. Are you comfortable with your current volume?
Yes.
Got it. Could you let me know if you'd like to start with beginner concepts?
Let's start with beginner, yes.
Great. We'll start with something basic. Let's define misinformation. Misinformation is false or inaccurate information shared, often without intent to deceive. Now, what's an example of misinformation you've heard of?
Oh, we've got an issue in Canada right now with the province of Alberta. Apparently, foreign actors are spreading information about separatism.
That's an important topic to explore. It's often hard to confirm details quickly. What makes you think the information might be false?
Well, I've read media reports about this.
I see. It's good to check multiple sources. How could you verify the
Well,
information?
because it was a reliable newspaper that I read it in.
Understood. It's good to check multiple sources, even reliable ones.
Yes, that's always a good idea. Now, could you give me another question?
Sure. Let's dig a bit deeper. Can you think of one way to check if that newspaper report is trustworthy?
Okay, I think we'll stop here, but what I'm going to do, well, no, I'll do a few other things. I'm going to tell it like to speed up, let's say, and you'll see how it works. Well, if it's got a wide circulation and is well known, it's trustworthy.
Good point. A wide circulation helps, but let's also check
Could
if
you
the
speed
article.
up your voice, please?
Of course. I'll speed up a bit. Let's continue. What's another step you could take to verify information?
Okay, so you're getting the idea here. The other version, without it, without the transcript is I'll use that and I'll try a different voice. I'll do shimmer, and this can be a tool. We're working on this to improve its response uh, in uh, in helping with language learning as well. I'm let's say. Oh yeah, I'm traveling to Paris. Help me learn some useful phrases. And I'll leave it in English, but I can put it in French, but it's going to respond in French. Okay, let's take it from here. Let's see. I'll leave it without the transcript right now.
Hi there. Great to meet. Hi there. Great to have you here. Are
I'm
you
a beginner.
great? Let's start with something simple.
I would say bonjour,
Great. Bonjour means hello in French. Now let's try another. How would you say goodbye?
au revoir,
Great try. Au revoir means goodbye. Let's build on that. If someone says bonjour, how could you respond?
très bien, merci.
Good. You just said very well, thank you. Now,
So now I'll put this in French, and we'll see how it goes.
bonjour. Je suis ravi de vous aider. Pour commencer, dites-moi, quel niveau pensez-vous avoir? Débutant, intermédiaire
Je
ou
suis intermédiaire.
Parfait. Donc, nous allons commencer avec quelque chose d'utile. Comment demander où est la gare en français?
Où est la gare?
Bien, c'est presque ça. On dit où est la gare avec une intonation montante à la fin. Répétons ensemble. Où est...
Okay, we won't continue there, but you see that there's great utility here using that feature as well. So the voice tool, the discuss tool is something that I really would encourage you to use. It can be used certainly learning on the go, using that mode without the transcript where you're not really looking at your screen. You've got your ear pods in, and a great way to learn about a topic on the go. So, and also it's a little more natural, especially useful also in mathematics and any term where there's a lot of technical jargon, certainly when there's symbols like chemistry. They're awkward to enter in the screen, so you could just speak it, and it's going to work for you. Okay, so that's our discuss tool. Now, some special features that we have for AI Tutor Pro, which I'm going to then show you. Go back home. We have a feature where you can right-click any word on a web page, and it will launch AI Tutor Pro, and I'm going to show you about that. It's in our news. You'll find it here, our updates. But it's basically, if you're using, it works only for Chrome, but if you're using Chrome, if you go to the Chrome store, um, and then go to the Chrome store, search for AI Tutor Pro. Um, sorry, AI Tutor Pro, yeah, I'll get it here, okay. Um, Go there and So I've installed it already. I say, okay, I've installed it. So it's good. It's there. So I'll show you how it works then. Okay. So we've got instructions for how to do that in the in our news, but I'll show you how it works first. Okay. We highlight text here and somewhere else, and we can launch it in AI Tutor Pro, either the check or grow tool. So very handy. So you're reading along and want to know more about that topic, the Atlantic Ocean, and away we go. Okay. Uh, so you'll find that in just scrolling down a bit in the grow tool here. Use okay. This was an interesting one. I compared AI Tutor Pro to the Chat GPT study mode. Uh, okay. Okay, here's the link, the exact link here. If you go down, you'll find it there. Yeah. So that's a useful feature. Another one that really is good, more not for desktop or laptop, but really for smartphones, your tablet, is installing AI Tutor Pro as an app. And the fact I have that on my phone as well. It's an app. It just appears right on the page, but you don't have to go to the Apple or Chrome store. You can just install it by with Chrome. You can go down here to, and different browsers is going to be a little different, and Mac as well. And it's going to be a little different, but you go down to cast and save, the equivalent of that. Install page as an app, and it's going to now install it. It's going to be on my desktop right now, but it's an app and it appears on its own. It's on now on my desktop, and I can just click on that to launch it. So you see, open an app. That's the view. Oh, that's the teaching assistant, by the way. But anyway, yeah. So you get the idea here that it's. Oops, I've closed the window on myself here. Back to AI Tutor Pro. Okay, and so a nice feature to have certainly on, as I said, on smart devices. Okay, so that's the that course management system, and
Sorry, everyone. We're just running into a technical issue with Ron's connection. We're going to get him back online.
everyone, for some reason, when I was going to the Chrome store, I got locked out of Zoom here. So everything okay now, Sarah?
Yes, we can. You were freezing a little bit before, and then
Yeah.
you completely disappeared. So
Yeah, I'm
everything's
not sure
good
what
now.
happened there. Yeah, okay, great. Sorry, everyone. So back to sharing and okay. Okay. So good now. Okay, we don't want that. What I starting over, I don't think people heard about LTI, did they? Did you hear the beginning of that?
No, you were cutting out just before then.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so LTI is a feature that allows AI Tutor Pro to be integrated into your course LMS. And if you go to YouTube and look for uh, Learning Shorts AI, Michael can post the link for that. And you'll find a video showing you how to do it. And I'm going to do a quick illustration of how you can do it, say, within Canvas. I've got a very basic app with Canvas, implementation of Canvas, basically with nothing in it, but I'll show it to you here. Okay, just to bring it up here, and go to Canvas. No, I seem to be having a bit of trouble here with the login. I'm not sure what's happening. Oof. Okay, go back to Canvas. Canvas, yeah, okay, this is my course here. Let's see what's happening there. Okay, not something. Anyway, here's a Canvas course, okay, and nothing in it, as I said, basically. So what we want to do is integrate AI Tutor Pro directly into it. So what we do is click on the plus screen, and what we want to do is add an item to your course, and we add an external URL. And the URL, Michael can post this for you as well, is aitutorpro.ca/LTI launch. And just call it by its name. And other LMSs, it's really basically the same thing, although they may not call it an external link. So we just need to just okay, just go into here, and here we are. AI Tutor Pro now is within Canvas. You see we're at the Canvas URL, and now when we start using it, the check tool, for instance, notice that we're going not to an external link in effect. Well, we're staying right within the course. All the regular course features are here, but now you're using AI Tutor Pro within Canvas. So very nice. It keeps students in the same environment, so they're not going to external sources and then getting lost and not coming back to your course. So a very nice way. So I encourage you, if you're using a learning management system, to look at our videos to if it's for a different system, and you'll find out how to do it. So Moodle, got Moodle, Blackboard, D2L, as well as Canvas, and a very simple process. Now, you could do this. Some institutions may not allow external links. In that case, you'd have to ask permission to do it, but others do. So you'll just have to see if that works for your institution. Now, if you go and try it, you may find it doesn't work. It's probably because your IT team has limited the use of external links, and you'd have to ask permission. So or find a workaround. So very nice feature. It keeps everyone in the same environment. Okay, so back over now to check where we are. Right, okay, what's ahead? Now, okay, Michael, you're going to now talk about sort of the new design of AI Tutor Pro. Yeah, we're just we're on time, I think, here pretty well. So spend a few minutes on this. I'll stop my screen sharing, and you can take over and share the new interface that we're ready to launch.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ron. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on where you are. I'll just get my screen share up here. Okay, Ron, can you just confirm you can see the new design?
Yeah, we've got it
Okay,
there. Mhm.
perfect. So, this is the redesign of AI Tutor Pro that we've put together, and we're going to be launching quite soon. So we wanted to clean things up a bit and give it a fresh look and feel while maintaining the general placement of features so that previous users can still have a familiar experience. We still have the initial landing page, which has a similar layout to our current version, with some slight differences, such as a different color scheme, fonts, and more of what I like to call a straight to the point experience. So we wanted to reduce the text on the landing page compared to the current version and push the buttons up to the top of the screen on desktop and mobile so that users can just jump right in to one of the tools quickly and easily. So once a user clicks on one of the tools, the page changes I'll just click on one of them now. It changes to this sidebar and chat window layout that's similar in format to many of the leading large language model chatbots. Again, we wanted users to have a familiar experience to our current design, but also something that is clean and easy to use without having to jump around. So we gave users this streamlined interface with this static sidebar on the left here, and the dynamic functionality on the right in this panel here. So from here, on any tool page, whether it be check, grow, or discuss, a user can just click on the buttons and jump between each tool easily without having to select from a drop-down menu as it's currently on the live site. You can just see I can jump right between check, grow, or discuss without having to actually go to a different page. So we could jump right in and test the check tool quickly to show you how the user experience has changed, much for the better. And overall, the options are the same as they currently are with a few feature enhancements. So you'll notice that when you click on My Content, for example, you now have an option to for the content type. So users can upload files such as PDFs or text documents. They can upload images in all of the popular image formats, or they can also input a URL to use during their tutoring session. So if we go back to a specific topic, we still have our OpenStax OER feature to show sources or citations from the OpenStax library of textbooks, or we can just engage with a regular tutoring session using the latest GPT 5.4 reasoning model. So entering in a topic, let's just choose something like web design. We can click the start button and then the session starts. And what you're going to notice here is that we no longer implement the pop-up window for the chat session. We wanted the user experience to be as clean as possible. And this facilitates that by removing the modal that pops up, and it keeps all the content into this right panel on the screen. So we've also removed the done button. You can see that's not here anymore. So once a session is over, the user can just move on if they choose, or they can click the request summary button at any time and they'll get a summary of that session up to that point. So I'm just going to answer a few questions here to show you what it looks like, and then I'll request a summary. So what is the main purpose of responsive web design? Format to screen sizes. That is right. What does HTML mainly provide in a web page? Structure, style, or behavior? I'll just put I don't know, so it can give me a different kind of response. And it gives me the correct answer. Why is CSS often used instead of styling every element directly in HTML? To keep coding simplified. What is the role of JavaScript in web design? Just answer this incorrectly. To generate AI. Okay, and you'll notice here we've added some very subtle effects like the fading at the top here, so it fades out as you scroll through. And then say we can ask another question as well, just like current. And if once we're done the session, we can also click request summary, and it'll generate the summary table. We'll just wait for that to populate.
Michael, do you know if the open text is working? OpenStax?
I haven't tested it
Because I
in the
realize
last couple of days. Yeah.
I haven't demoed that. Maybe you could just demo that.
Yeah, sure. I'll go back.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have the table here again with the scoring, and then we added this little bit at the bottom. It says what we did well during that session. So, and we've also implemented this feature here. So if you try to leave the session because we don't store any data or ask for logins, it'll prompt you so that you don't lose a tutoring session in case you've been at it for quite a while. So we'll leave. And then the OpenStax feature that Ron just mentioned. So we can click on that here. You can click from one of the many OpenStax textbook subjects. So we'll just keep it on astronomy. And what's the current topic? The moon. Sorry. Okay, so what was one of the key contributions of the Apollo program to our understanding of the moon's properties and composition? I don't know.
It's important for people to know that the OpenStax is a collection of 70 odd textbooks, freely available, professionally edited, used really around the world. The nice thing about using this tool is that you see the source of answers.
Yep,
And
and that's
Michael,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right here. You can click View Source, and then when you click on it, I'm not sure if this is going to show.
Yeah, yeah, it's working. Yeah, just
Oh, it
accept.
went to OpenStax, right? So it goes to the exact
Yeah,
page
yeah,
within the
yeah.
OpenStax textbook to give the user further reading and the reference. And we don't direct them right to where the answer is on them. We encourage them to go and seek out the answer themselves. So with that, Ron, I can that's the preview of our redesign, which is going to be launching really soon. I'll turn it back over to you to continue on with the session.
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot, Michael. Yeah. Okay. There we are. Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll get back going here. Okay, yeah, the OpenStax is great. I just see there's a question. I'll address these because we're pretty well wrapping up for AI Tutor Pro. In terms of where the knowledge base is, yes, we're using ChatGPT, which is pretty well all the web gobbled up into one big, huge knowledge base. Um, OpenStax, we don't upload it as such. Well, yeah, I guess we just sort of do. Yeah, we upload the content of OpenStax. Yeah, so if you're using OpenStax, it's you're getting the source directly from there. So um, if you're concerned about hallucinations, which is a topic I'm going to address in just a moment, uh, then at least you know the content where that answer is coming from. With ChatGPT, generally you do not know where the answer is coming from, except somewhere out there on the web. Now, I would encourage you, if you're teaching in one of the subjects that is covered by OpenStax, to use that. Encourage students to use that because a lot of people don't really know about it. So now I'm just going to jump to a few questions here. Uh, okay, after Michael posted the links, can I pass a document to AI Tutor Pro no. When you have it in the LMS, no, you can't actually get it directly from the LMS into AI Tutor Pro. Not yet. We will be working on that, but trying to make it more integrated to allow AI Tutor Pro to access the documents in the LMS database. That we don't have that right now. A point about integrating it into the next one here about LA Lamis asks here about integrating it into the LMS. No, the data is not will not be stored in your LMS, and that's it's still there's no data stored, but it works through our database, but the data is not stored. Now, if you are experiencing difficulties in tech support allowing you to use it, we do have a document available which will answer a lot of their questions. Like most institutions have a team that reviews apps that are installed. And we have a document which we can send you. So if your team is saying, no, we can't do that, we can send them this document that answers the questions. It's produced by EDUCAUSE. It's a standard one used in higher education now for external vendors. We're not a vendor, but but nevertheless, this document is available for them. So just ask for that if people need it. Now, this is interesting. Lamis also, I guess, asked about the free versus the paid one. Well, we don't have a paid one, so it's only free. That's the good news about using our tool. Now, the last point I did want to mention, I'm going to close the chat here, is about verified answers. Whoops. A few months ago, we were concerned about AI hallucinations, and particularly in math, and that was a known weak area of most large language models. And so we started on a venture to integrate um, Wolfram AI into it. Wolfram Research is the producer of well-established, long-established software called Mathematica that's used in higher education. Those of you who teach math would know about that tool, Mathematica. It's sort of the gold standard for accuracy in mathematics calculations. And also they've expanded into all STEM fields as well. So we were integrating that, and we have it integrated. I won't take the time now to demonstrate it, but we've put a pause on that because we found that the newest models of ChatGPT 5.3, I believe we're running on now, um, is is good. And there was an announcement about 5.5, which is even better in terms of minimizing hallucinations, especially in math and scientific areas. So we're no longer as concerned as we once were about accuracy and hallucinations for the average user, or certainly even the advanced user. I don't think is going to run into problems. I've tried to make the newest models hallucinate by asking some very difficult math questions, and they seem to be coming out on top. But before, when we were using GPT-4, we would definitely be getting hallucinations for very simple arithmetic problems even. So that's where we are with that. We have maybe a couple minutes more. Are there any other questions that there, Sarah, that are outstanding or burning questions that?
Yeah, we have one question, but Avril has also put a good point in the chat. She said, Ron, maybe you want to explain what your organization does at some point and why we're able to provide this for free. It might help those who can't understand how this incredible tool can be made available for free.
Well, Contact North is a Ontario government sponsored organization and funded 100% by the Ontario government. Mandate is to serve, in particular, students in rural and remote communities in Ontario, helping with online education. So any tools that we develop, we share globally. We make available not only to our students in rural and remote communities, but in fact to anyone who wants to use them. So that's why. We also have a research and development mandate as well, so it's part of our sharing. So no, early on we were concerned, it's interesting, we were concerned about, oh boy, are we going to be running up huge costs by making, say, ChatGPT available? So we thought, well, we'll monitor it and see how it goes. But the cost has come down so significantly from it's pennies really now. We're talking about from usage. It's very minimal. So it's affordable. You'll notice when we get next to AI Teaching Assistant Pro, we do require login for a few features because we do pay providers for those services, and we want to just keep track of them to prevent spam and abuse, like say an attack, denial of service type attack, where it could just bankrupt us. Well, we have spending limits set on all our tools. It could cause real problems. So we do ask for login for a couple of those. So anyway, so that's it. We're a public organization making it available freely to the public. So let's jump now into Teaching Assistant. Okay, different approach. So essentially, the tutor is designed for students, for learners, and teaching assistant is designed for faculty, specifically faculty. Again, very similar. We've got our updates here. Again, no personal data is collected. It's free, private, confidential. Okay, we've got a number of features here with this tool, and I hope I have the time here to go through them, but I think we will. I won't spend a lot of time on some of these as well. So multiple choice questions, that's probably our most popular feature. All you need to do is type a topic in, and I'm going to get one of my topics here that I generated here. Okay, if you're mental health and university students, a big topic these days. And all we can put that in, and then we'll just click on generate, and we get I'll pull my screen down. I think I'll enlarge it too to make it a bit easier for you to see. It's a bit more awkward having to juggle around. But anyway, so what this does is it generates questions. I've asked for 5 questions. You can go up to 20, and you copy them. If you want 40, you can do it twice for 20 and copy the first one. So this does generates the questions, and it gives the correct answer. How can universities best support students experiencing mental health issues? You can also upload a document. So this is cool because you've got a document you want students to want to make a multiple choice question on a document that you have, class notes or whatever it may be. You can again upload it, generate the questions, and that's it. And again, we don't retain those documents, so don't worry, they're not going to ChatGPT for training purposes. So the document is not retained. You can generate the questions right away. You have the option. This is really a perk we don't really need, but if say you wanted 5 choices to make it more difficult, uh, multiple choice test, you could do that there. So, okay, back to the beginning. We have the same thing with essay questions like this. Um, I'm gonna do another topic here. Uh, okay. Climate anxiety and youth mental health, which is an issue that's facing uh, many students. Um, so we want to have an essay question generated on that. I'm just going to ask for one. Again, we have the choice of sort of difficulty of the questions. We'll leave it there, basic. And why I'm going to have one is because I'm going to include a scoring rubric and watch what this will do. Again, you can also upload your own document and generate an essay question on that. But of course, the challenge these days is giving essay questions and hoping that students are going to be answering them on their own. But that's another topic that we won't be talking about here. Okay, discuss the concept of climate anxiety and its impact on the mental health of young people. Now, I should point out, which I didn't, for both the multiple choice and the essay questions, they are aimed at Bloom's taxonomy for higher level thinking. They're not factual. Recall they're from application and higher uh, synthesis and so on. So, okay, here we have a scoring rubric. So you can have your question generated and a scoring rubric. You can use this here. Now, I'm not saying always you should be taking these just exactly as is and just pasting them into your LMS, say for students. You want to make sure you read them through and are satisfied with all the content. Anything we're doing here in Teaching Assistant, you have to filter it through your own knowledge. You're the expert in the topic, and you're the one who's deciding, not the AI. The AI is just really an aid to you. So it goes all the way from comprehensive understanding of climate anxiety, articulating its definition, and so on, all the way to fails to address the question, demonstrates fundamental misunderstanding. Now, the nice thing about this is um, you can give the students in advance the rubric. Often we don't think of the rubric until after we've given the assignment and we get the assignments in. Then we say, oh, now how are we going to grade it? But give this to the students in advance and they've got a good idea of how they're going to be graded. So you can take this and adapt it in any way you might wish. So that's another popular tool. Multiple choice is probably the most popular, but next most popular, I think, is a syllabus. So what we can do here is really nice. Uh, I just noticed here that in my email, I do have it opened, going back before I go into this, I might have to show this on the screen. Remember, I had the AI summary table sent to me and the analysis of the summary table. So I'll just bring it here. So remember the one about oil prices, you can click and go back to the summary table. So a student would get this, well, what you did well, okay, and areas to improve. I need a lot to improve on this, the way I performed on that. But there has to be probably 10 questions for this to start getting more accurate. I only did a few actually. And the nice thing here is that it gives a link to Google. You get an AI resource on the topic, and this is the case the YouTube here, and also uh, my email. I've got to pull that up again. I lost that. Okay. But I get it up here. Okay, just a second. I lost it again. Okay, yeah, here we are. And the other one is just text. So for each area of improvement, suggested improvements, you've got both uh, text and a video. So here we are here about oil prices and instability. So anyway, bit of a diversion, but that took a bit to come through. I'm not sure why. It doesn't usually take quite that long. Although it only took 5 minutes. I think that was all. So, okay, going back here. No, we're ready to start, okay, generating a syllabus. And again, I emphasize this is not something that you want to just take and use. You want to filter it, look at it, see if it makes sense to you. And also, it's not only for those of you who are it's for, let's say, put it this way. If you're teaching a course right now, you want to sort of get some fresh ideas on your topic, you can use the syllabus generator. Compare what this tool generates with what you're already teaching now. You may get some teaching ideas and new topics to put in. So I'm going to take another one for another topic here. This is an interesting one. We'll run with this for now. Okay, so we put our topic in here. The more precise the topic, the better. The economics of housing affordability. You have your choice of the length of uh, the course description. I'm going to put down to about 50 words, which is typical for a calendar copy, let's say, about a course. I'm going to put this for our demo purposes. I'm going to put it at 4 session course. You also have your languages here as well, so you can do that if that's of interest to you. So you generate your course description. This course explores multifaceted issues surrounding housing affordability. If you're not happy with it, you can actually regenerate it too. Then you can copy it, take it away, edit it if necessary. So next step, so we've got the description, and then we can also put the outcomes here. Next, we generate outcomes. Again, these are higher level thinking outcomes. So we'll ask for 5, the default. And we'll generate those. Here's outcomes. Again, that's something that we often struggle to come up with when we're designing courses. Now, what are we going to do here? And this is a way of getting them. So notice it's analyze, evaluate, create, compare, contrast, and assess. So good higher level thinking outcomes about this topic. So if we're satisfied with those, we can next generate the outline. I'll reduce this probably to 3 just to keep it a little shorter here. So generate 3 subtopics. So we're going to get a session by session. It says week, but session by session overview. I'll increase, move this down here. So we see for each of the main topics, understanding housing markets, we've got 3 subtopics. Okay, and our one for each of the 4 weeks. Another nice feature here is it's something again that we often we don't really bother most of the time. At least I've never did too much of that. Is mapping the the syllabus to the course outcomes, because presumably the syllabus should be mapping to them. But yeah, let's see how often do we do that. So anyway, here's our four main topics here, and here's our five outcomes. We can go back and see what they are by here, outcome one, for instance. Okay. Um, so understanding housing markets, yeah, it maps well to outcome three and four, not so well to outcome two, but that's all right. We have to make sure that they're all covered. So, okay, so economic indicators and affordability, yeah, that's covered as well. And this is covered policy interventions and case studies, future trends. That's covered here, four and five. So looks like we have all topics covered, like a strong link between them. So there we are. That's good. It's nice to know that. It's an optional feature. You don't need to generate this, but it's always good. Next, we have teaching notes, which is gives you some ideas about how to teach those topics. We'll take just week three just randomly here and look at teaching notes. Okay. So we're at now week three, and it gives teaching notes for the each of the three subtopics that we have. Okay. So now I'll just give you an idea of what the first one looks like. Okay, government programs, teaching notes. Okay, discuss various government initiatives such as housing vouchers, public housing, so on. And we give then active learning suggestions. Conduct a case study analysis in small groups where students evaluate a specific government program aimed at affordable housing, and so on. And we also give resources here again um, for text resources. Yeah, we'll not. I've never seen that link pop up before, actually. Um, and so we're in Google. Well, we as we go, we see other modes here, but AI mode. Let's go into that. Yeah, in Canada, okay, this federal housing programs and so on. We get that resource there, and we'll go back to the video, and we get videos that's about Ontario government here, supportive housing, social housing, and so on. So we got video resources as well suggested. So again, you can take these, modify these, or use them as is. They're pretty good. I think they're very useful, I think. Okay, the final step in this whole process, again, we copy all the way along here and generating slides. We'll keep with our week three here and generate slides, say, for teaching week three. What it first does is generate text so that you're happy with this text. And then once you're happy with the text, week three gives sort of some bullet points you want to make sure you're covering, and then graphics suggestion, and so on. So let's say we're happy with these topics here, and then we'll go to, you can change them later actually in the PowerPoint, of course. Now we're going to generate a PowerPoint. Now this takes maybe 30 seconds or so to generate. And so we'll get it here, and I'm just going to download it, and just called presentation. Okay. Yeah, I've got one there, but okay. Yeah, so what we're going to do now is launch it in PowerPoint. Of course, you could do everything all at once, but just as I said, for sake of time here, I'm going to just keep it fairly simple. Okay, so there's no graphics or layout yet. You can start doing that yourself if you have a university college template. You can do that. We give in the text area, the notes area, we give some teaching suggestions. But you can dress it up though by looking at right away at design suggestions within PowerPoint, and it's going to generate some possible designs for you. And if you're a good PowerPoint user, you could use this as a template. And you wouldn't want necessarily the same pictures, of course, but you could use this layout here as a template. You can go through all of them, the different options, of course. So so nice feature. And we also have a way of, so that's the syllabus tool. I won't say, but right now. We also have a feature that generates your own, we'll go back to home, your own slides right away directly in ChatGPT. You just need a free account to generate slides. And this is a tool. I won't illustrate that, but you have more control over it in terms of text and so on before it's generated. But of course, you can modify it after it's generated. Okay, great. Let me see. I think we said we would okay. So I'll get over to the look back here. Okay, the agenda there. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. So any questions, Sarah? I think before we get into study guide and learning shorts, faculty assistant, some very nice tools here for you to see.
Yep, we have a couple from the chat and one in the Q&A. So is it possible to upload an entire course with different modules and asking Teaching Assistant Pro to generate a multiple choice test with 75 questions? Perhaps specifying the number of questions you want from each section to ensure testing across the course content with an emphasis on important sections. She says, I know I'm jumping ahead. They haven't finished the demo yet. Just
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Well, the contents of an entire course, it might be too large a file. Michael, I'll ask you to jump in. Do you know if we have what file limitation we have for that? I think it could be 50 meg. I'm not absolutely certain.
It's either 50 or 75.
Yeah, so it's got to be a file within that size. So perhaps your whole course. Now, I noticed that PDFs are unnecessarily large. So if you have, say, a Word version, use that. Don't use the PDF, and then you're more likely to get it. And yeah, it's going to generate the questions for you. Yeah, simple as that. Sarah, any others there?
Yep. Can we use our notes, text chapters, etc., as our sources when creating syllabuses, etc.?
No, you can't use them right now as a source. No. What you no, you can't. You can upload, say, an overview of the notes, get an AI overview, let's say, of your notes, and just plug that in and uh, use that. Yeah, it might be. I'm, I'm not sure if that would really give you what you want, but basically, I guess I'll have to say the answer is no. You could try some options, but that doesn't really give it. Another nice feature that I've used is I'm going to go back to screen sharing because this is related to what we're talking about here, screen sharing. Okay, going back to teaching assistant. Um, let's say we'll go back into the syllabus tool here. And okay. What I've done, say you get a calendar course copy and you want to say you're charged with teaching a course, you don't have any notes from the previous instructor, and I'm just going to bring up a link for that. You can just paste that in, and this is quite nice. I'm going to just find the link. Okay, here we go. Let's say go back to okay, is it York University courses? Let's say Schulich School of Business Accounting course, Introduction to Financial Accounting. So let's say you happened, to be assigned this course to teach. Oh no, I've got a couple of weeks to get this course ready. And so what you do is copy this, and then we'll go into Teaching Assistant and paste that in. It should paste. I don't think it's going to exceed the length here. So that's the topic for the course, and we'll generate. Okay, and then away we go. And it's important to know that when you're building the syllabus, each section relies on the other. In other words, when you generate this description, the outcomes are based on that, and of course, the outline is based on the outcomes and the description and the court and so on. So it builds on each other. So there we go. We get it. And so nice way if you're ever caught with having to do a course, or you may be curious about what AI Teaching Assistant Pro would do with your existing course. So get your calendar copy, put it in there, and better than that would be better than just your title of your course. So the more detail you give for the topic of your course, the better I think the results will be. Sarah, any other questions before we jump into the other aspects?
Yeah, we'll do one more. I also wanted to
Okay.
let you know on your bottom right of your screen, there is a black box. I don't know if you have a pop-up there or something. It's
Oh,
covering that section of your shared screen.
thanks. I'm not sure why that happens. That does seem to happen fairly, I don't want to say fairly often, but it has happened before. Do you see it, Sarah?
Yeah, it's still there.
Still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure of why that is popping up like that now.
Okay.
I
We'll
That's
move
too
on to the
bad.
question. Yeah, maybe on the
Yeah.
lunch break we can troubleshoot
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right. So Karina asked for generating multiple choice questions. Will there be a feature to generate a QTI format that works with other LMS, for example, Blackboard?
Uh, we were struggling with that. We have one that Michael, you can say the latest on this. We have one that allows you to export to Canvas. But Michael, do you know if that's working? How we've had some trouble with different standards of there's supposedly a standard for sharing, but that doesn't seem to be really a standard. So Michael, can you comment on that?
Yep, to Canvas, it works. And right now
Yeah.
we're testing to Blackboard. Blackboard has some more specific um, requirements, so we're working on that.
Yeah, download QTI format. Yeah, yeah, you can try it. I'm not convinced you're going to be satisfied with it, but perhaps it will. It's a nice feature, we admit, but it seems to be kind of difficult to implement. Okay, so here we are. We next will go to faculty assistant. Now, this addresses, I think, a question that was asked earlier. And it's one also where we do ask you to sign in for this because you are using more resources, but it's not restricting you in any way, and there's no fee. It's just that we are just making it a little bit more restrictive. So you create an account and log in, and we don't use that account information for any purpose. Okay, so what course assistants are is allows you to upload documents and then use those documents in AI teaching assistant, sorry, AI Tutor Pro. And so I'll give you an idea of how this is going to work. So let's say, okay, I've got, okay, I'll create an assistant. I've got, yeah. So this one, I'm just going to see which document I'm going to use. So I just got a study. I've got a document here that I'll drag into it. Oh yeah, okay. I guess okay, climate change. Okay, I'm going to use this one then. I'll just call the course. Um, this is your course. It's a put your course number. Uh, okay, and you can have your students, give them special instructions. Answer questions about causes, let's say. Okay, create. And now what we're going to do is click on it to view it. And we're going to now add a file to it. And I'm just going to drag, oops, first I've got to click on add a file. And I'm just going to drag that file in that, oh, I have it open, may not go. Oh yeah, it's going, yeah, okay. Okay, and once that's uploaded, you can have up to 10 files, 50 megabyte each. So you've got lots of room to give content here to students. It's taking a bit of time here to upload, which is not quite usual, but not sure why that's happening. But it's quite nice having that feature, being able to upload that and use the assistant. Well, maybe I won't. I'm not sure why we're experiencing difficulty. We're, of course, running this in peak time, and normally we don't quite get that kind of delay, but I'll just cancel this process. I'll try it once more, and then if it doesn't do it, I'll just switch to one I already have up. Okay, I don't know if it'll work any better by navigating, by browsing, probably not, but I'm going to look at desktop. Okay, I've got this. That seemed to work better by not sure what's happened there with that. Yeah, okay. It looks like it's there. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now the file is there. I'll just go back so you can see it here. The file is uploaded, and you can as I said, you can upload 10 files. So here it is, and here's the link. You know, you give this link to your students. It's a confidential link, so you're not going to worry about, unless the students share it, you're not going to worry about others seeing it, or you could post it in your LMS as well. That's another possibility. So here we are. It's going to launch AI Tutor Pro, and it launched it in the app version, by the way, which was interesting. So climate change. Okay, I'm going to just put answer questions about causes. Okay, so you have to enter your topic as well here, because potentially there could be lots of or whatever the content is. Students would have to have some sense of what the content is. They can't just go into this raw. So there it is. It's generating this from the okay. Use of cars, let's say. Oh, and send it on. Okay, partly correct. Okay. And you see it's important here because you see it's giving you the source of your answer. In other words, it's verifying that it's coming from that document. We had trouble getting this tool to work, not to go outside of that document, but to stick with that document that you've uploaded and not go to general chat GPT. So this is working now. So it goes on next question about the topic. So we won't continue with that, but I hope you get the idea here that so you upload a document, um, and you share that link with your students, either directly or put it into an LMS, and they can answer, check their understanding about that particular topic. So once you're logged in, you have access to the other tools as well. So I'm going to next jump to I think I should jump to learning shorts uh, videos because that takes a minute or maybe up to 10 minutes to generate. So I'm going to do that. My learning shorts. Um, you'll see I've already got some learning shorts here. Improving my golf game. Well, you can use any topic you want. And here's an example of, well, I should look at improving my golf game. So,
Bienvenue à cette vidéo
oh,
dédiée
I
aux
put that in
passionnés de
French.
golf.
That's one. I was tempted.
Aujourd'hui, nous allons explorer des stratégies et des techniques pour améliorer
So we'll put up Newton's laws of motion, see what, oops, I didn't want that. I wanted just to view it. We'll just view it.
Welcome! Today I'll guide you through Isaac Newton's groundbreaking laws of motion. These principles explain how objects move and interact, forming the foundation of modern physics.
Okay, what we'll do is generate it. That's the key thing. How do we get those? Well, pretty easy. First, you have to have credits. And early on at the beginning, I said, well, you can get 8 credits if you participate in this institute. And so you put a request credits and you get a form like this. So say maximum, you can put in 8 and we'll just mention that you were in the institute and we'll approve that. Now, it's a manual process of approving. So you might, if it's during the day, you may get it approved almost instantly. Sometimes if you do it in the evening, it may not be till the next day that you get it approved because we do, between Michael and I, we do approve these. Again, that's a control because the tool we're using, it costs a fair amount to use. So, but I've got credits already, and I'm going to take another one of my topics here. Um, uh, Construction site safety standards. Okay, so that's the topic of a video, and the videos can be up to roughly 3 minutes. We'll keep it in English. We don't have languages other than English and French for this tool. And I'll use the first template. You'll see a preview here once you choose your template. I'll use this one. And here we ask you if do you grant us permission to use this to post it to YouTube in our channel there. You saw the Learning Shorts channel that I had up. And we encourage you to say yes, but of course you don't have to. And so we actually have fallen behind a bit in getting those who've given us permission to and posting them. So this takes a minute because what's happening now is a two-step process. The AI is generating the video content, like the outline of the text. And it's done it now. Scripts generated. You see the message up here. So it's generated the content, and the next step is going to be to actually generate the video. So here you can see the content, and you can edit the content. And I could just change it in this video and go through it and so on, whatever you want it to do. And if you're not happy with it, you can regenerate it if you want to get sort of different content. But you can't alter the number of slides. It's still 6 slides. So we click Next. And it just warns you that that you are using one of your credits, 1 credit for 1 video, about 3 minutes. So if you've got if you can't cover that topic in 3 minutes, well, you could request more than 1 credit, and you could paste them together like part 1, part 2, part 3, let's say, and you get 9 minutes of video. So we'll create it. Now I logged in as York, my email there, so I'm going to get that in my York email. And I should have probably done this one first so it comes through a bit quicker and to show you, but I'll get it, yeah, one way or the other. So it's pending here, and when it's generated, it'll show completed, and you'll see all the other features. You can download it. Best to download them, I would say, rather than relying on just the viewing link. So you can get a link here.
Welcome. Today I'll guide you through Isaac Newton's groundbreaking laws.
You can get that link there and use it directly in your course, but probably better to download just to be safe. Okay. Okay, so we'll have to come back to that and check when I get my email. When it's approved, I can just show you what it did with that topic. Okay, that depends on how busy the server is. We use a tool called Synthesia, and Synthesia does the generation, uses the avatars and so on. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so next, oh yeah, okay. Faculty, we did faculty assistance, learning shorts. Okay, syllabus Q&A, and is one of our latest tools here, and I gotta bring that up. Syllabus Q&A. This is a cool tool. how many times are you getting asked by students the same questions over and over again? When is assignment 2 due? What happens if my assignment is late, and so on. So we've helped you with this. Okay. And what we can do is do a syllabus Q&A, and we turn AI Tutor Pro into a Q&A tool. Instructional design, yes, of course I wanted to do. You don't need anything here, really. It's ask any question. Okay, let's say that. Same process, actually. We have it here now. And we click on it. And now we have to add a file. That's the link. You might think it's going to link right away, work right away, but there's no content yet. So we have to add a file. And I got permission from a colleague, uh, Professor Kurt Bonk at Indiana University, to use his syllabus. He calls it a monster. Oh, see, it uploaded right away this time. Monster syllabus, he calls it, which is true. I don't know, 30 pages or so. So our students going to wade through that? Not very likely. But anyway, Kurt was fine to let me use it. So here it is. It's his course on instructional design. And we're launching now AI Tutor Pro, and using it, the course, as the content for our session. So instructions to students, ask any question about whatever. And for very important questions, though, of course, they should be checking with you as instructor to make sure it's not absolutely reliable. So we just start here. Nothing to enter in because the document is there prompting you. Now, any question, tell who is the, okay, who is the instructor. That's a quick way to begin. And we'll see. Okay. What's the instructor's email? Let's say there's his email. When is my first assignment due? Okay. So you see, we always say, oh, students read the syllabus, but they never do, it seems, or they do once and they forget it, and then they end up asking you. So here it is. This tool's use it. So you notice all along is giving the source of the syllabus here, the PDF, and that's verifying that in fact that answer is coming from there. So and so on. What's the course policy on AI and whatever. And so when is I presented in that course? Let's see if it answers that. It probably should. It's in the syllabus. I'm pretty sure it's in this syllabus, but it'll tell you if it's not. Okay, read. Okay, maybe I'm not in this one. I presented in one of his courses. Okay, anyway, so that's the syllabus Q&A tool. A very nice feature. Okay, going back, and I'm going to describe our very latest feature. Back here, oh yeah, I've got to go back to home here. Okay. Very latest feature. Syllabus is very new too, and study guide is the very latest feature. Now, study guide is really nice and very powerful tool. Okay, so what the study guide will do, I'll enlarge this screen as well so you can see it better. Okay, study guide generates notes, class notes for any topic that you enter. And you can do it by topic, URL, or you can upload a document. So let's say, well, you can upload your syllabus for that matter and generate study notes on your syllabus. But that's probably going to be too general. You'd do it for each week or each major topic you're covering. So you can do it there. And it does a very slick job with that. Oh, by the way, my learning short is ready. And I think before we jump into this new tool, I'll bring that up. I get this email here. The video is ready. And
Welcome, everyone. In this video, we will explore the essential standards that keep construction sites safe for workers and visitors.
notice we have
By
subtitles, of
understanding
course.
these benchmark practices, we can identify risks, prevent accidents, and foster a culture of safety in every construction environment. Following official regulations isn't just about
Jumping
avoiding
ahead.
penalties, it reflects our responsibility as a piece of machinery from cranes to power forward.
So this is a 3-minute video that generated. Sometimes they'll go up to 4, depending on the content. So there you are. That's learning shorts. What did that take? Not even, I don't think that took 10 minutes even to get that through, but that's roughly 10 minutes to allow for it. And it'll be appearing in my in that list of tools that I have already. I'm good to do. Yeah, thanks. Lots of this is great. Okay, and here's another one: supply chain and inventory management. Let's try this. Uh, okay, so I'm gonna say business 101, and that I'm gonna enter a topic here that I just did: supply chain and inventory management. We've got some features here. You can adjust the length, how detailed you want your learning short, your class notes to be, the language complexity. So it's when I say elementary, I mean like just sort of more basic language, depending on your learners. And the skill level, like Bloom's skill level, we can do it a bit higher, let's say, for now. And again, how complex is this topic, sort of intermediate level or more advanced? You can experiment with these, see how they work. You can get graphic suggestions and video suggestions. You can even generate a header, which I'll do. Makes it take a little bit longer, but you can still do it. And the nice thing about these is that you can edit the notes to make, say if there's something not quite right in it. So often, just you don't have control over what AI generates, and you sort of take it or leave it. But in this case, you see, you're getting like in learning shorts, you could edit the content to make sure it was accurate and so on. And the same thing with the study guide. You can edit the content before you share it with students. It's taking a bit longer because I chose to generate the header here. Normally it goes quicker than that. So here we are, supply chain management. So here we got business. Uh, what is supply chain management? Key concepts and objectives, so on. Here's a video. What is supply management? A YouTube video suggestion as well. And great for more elaboration there on the topic. And I guess comes up practice questions. I guess a practice question on the content there about supply chain management. Analyze how major disruptions in a region will affect global electronics. This case, uh, and this was a longer one. Again, this would be the video suggestion. This would be a text suggestion from Google, and does a nice job at displaying formulas. Another practice question there, and so on. So, but you jump to the top. I hope this is displaying all right. Is it, Sarah? I'm wondering about the corner, that black spot, black area.
Yes, it's still there, but you can see everything on your screen.
Yeah, I can just well, if I move over like this, does it stay fixed or is it moving with the?
It stays fixed, yeah.
So it's not really covering this much.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay, I'll keep it over my browser over to the left a bit here, my left. Okay, so you go up to the top, you'll see download. So you can, if you're happy with it, you download it right away. And but you may want to edit it, and you see you can edit, and so, okay, you can edit in any way, and you actually don't have to do a separate save. It does it right away. So you can download it right away, and you've got the choice of Word or a PDF, and might as well do that as a as a, a PDF. And here it is. Okay, and well, it should be exactly the same, but in PDF format. So there it is there. So very nice. And so presumably you've edited it and are happy with the content you can distribute to the students. Now think of the possibilities of using this tool for every major topic or every week in your course. You could have generate study notes. And guess what? You generate them in advance and you have a whole textbook for your course, all AI generated. So pretty powerful tool. And this can be a great aid for you. So I'll jump back to home, and I think we've pretty well covered it. So time for some questions before we take our break. And I've got an activity over the break for people. But Sarah, questions?
Yeah, we have one here in the queue. Are there limitations to the number of times we can use the tools to generate or design?
No, there's no generation, no limit. The learning shorts, you have to request sort of six, maximum of six at a time, and we will renew it. If we saw someone really abusing it, then we might say, hey, that's enough probably. We've got one instructor I know he's used that an awful lot, but we're not restricting people. So no limits to certainly not to anything. Actually, the only one really where we are limiting is the learning shorts. The like say faculty assistant, you could have those for every course you teach if you wanted. Syllabus Q&A for every course you teach. Remember, there's a unique URL for each syllabus. So no limits. Okay. Anything else there, Sarah?
That was the last one in the Q&A tool. Mike's been doing an amazing job keeping up with the chat and on the
Mm-hmm.
Q&A tool. Um,
Okay.
oh, Rodney was saying, do
Yeah.
you have your Q&A tool open? Wondering if that's what's creating the black box on your screen.
Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't have anything else open. No, we'll have to see what's going on. That has happened before. I can't quite recall if I stop sharing. Let me see but we'll sort this out. I want to just give people the break that we promised here. And mm, no, I think I'm not sure if I see it. Yeah, I think I see it on my preview of the screen. Yeah, I'm not sure what that could be because nothing else is open on this screen here, but we'll sort it out during the break. In fact, if we could stay on now, Sarah, maybe sort that out before our panel comes
Yeah,
on.
sounds good.
And what I do want to show, though, is what I thought you might want to try during the break. So we'll leave this up. We'll come back at 1 a.m. Eastern, so in an hour, a little less than an hour now. Um, I'd like you to try during this break, if you have a chance, try the Chrome installation. And that's the one that allows you to do the right click. And if you go into AI Tutor Pro and look down in the uh, the announcements, of course, the updates, you'll see the URL again, but you just go into Chrome Store, search for AI Tutor Pro, and you get it as well. Do the app, and that was the one. Remember, you go to the three dots if you're using Chrome, and go down to Cast Share, and then install Page as an app. Do that one, and great for a phone. I'm sorry, I jumped over here. And then LMS, you might want to try that to see if that works, and we might be able to help you sort out any issues if you have. But unfortunately, I think if you have issues with it, you're going to find that it's restrictions your system administrator has put on your system, and you'll have to ask for permission. And if they require this form to be filled out, well, we can send them a copy of that form. It's an EDUCAUSE form. So okay, so we'll leave it at that. And then what I'm going to do, Sarah, is log out completely and then come back in and we'll see how it goes. I don't, I think you could stay because it seems that the problem was coming from me. I didn't see it from Michael's
Yeah,
screen. So,
I'll pause the
yeah,
recording and then
yeah,
we'll troubleshoot.
yeah. Okay, so everyone else will come back just before 1 p.m. then. Okay, so I'll log out completely and then come back in. We'll turn it on. I'm going to first ask everybody just to say hello first, and uh, then we'll go through some of the questions that I circulated. Okay. So good. Okay. Well, welcome back, everyone. We're just coming up to 1 p.m. Not quite there, and I'm very pleased to enter this phase of our institute. And with me is colleagues from 6 colleagues from really literally around the world who are going to be sharing their thoughts, their perspectives on using our apps, AI Tutor Pro and AI Teaching Assistant Pro. And what I'll do first with the panel is just to go around and just have everybody just briefly introduce themselves and just say a little bit about what they're doing, what their work is, what they're teaching, and so on. So I'll start on my screen with Caleb Bailey, Dr. Caleb Bailey, Brigham Young University. Caleb, say hello to the group, and we'll just go on next and just say a word, maybe or two, about what you're doing in the university, your position, and so on.
Great. Thank you. Thank you again for hosting this, for having me. My name is Dr. Caleb Bailey. I work at Brigham Young University, Idaho. My background is in cancer research, and I've been here focused on teaching undergraduate primarily for the last 12 years. A lot of human physiology, um, including embryology, and that's where we primarily use AI Tutor Pro, is in helping freshman students assess their own understanding of what they're trying to learn, as we promote a feed forward style learning of putting the responsibility on them to really get up to speed.
Great. That's great, Caleb. And I should point out that Caleb is one of our earlier adopters of our tool. He has stuck with us and hope it's been successful. But we'll get into that. And then to my right on the screen now is Jackie Bucio. Jackie, I met her just through a conversation about the possibility of translating our site into Spanish, which we can't right now, but I hope one day we'll be able to get to that. But Jackie, just say a few words about your responsibilities there at the university. National Autonomous University of Mexico, that's mainly an online institution, is it?
It's a face-to-face institution, but I work in the Open University and
Oh, I
digital.
see. That's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah. And we work on that PD for teachers using digital tools. So I'm very happy. I was so happy discovering Contact North and this effort. The whole suite was very interesting. I'm very happy to be here sharing and learning what other institutions are doing with this wonderful tool. Thank you very much.
Good, excellent, Jacqueline. And now down middle on my left is Shuhong Zhang from University of South Dakota State University. And was leading the initiative to make AI Tutor Pro available university-wide. And Shuhong, welcome to have you back again to our panel.
Thank you, Ron. Hello, this is Zhihong Zhang, Director of Instructional Design Services at South Dakota State University. My team provides support, training, and consultation on any e-learning related, such as D12, Clicker, AI, anything related to instructional technologies for teaching and research at this university. I have been following Ron for longer than 3 years. I'm so glad that he has such a wonderful product for everyone, totally free. So that said, we have promoted this product to our faculty since last year, and we are very happy with it. So I'm more than happy to share our story with you.
Great, yeah. Next, I'll turn to Dr. Chris Meyer from Guelph University. Chris, great to have you back again. Say a word about yourself there.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ron. Thanks again for the invitation to come back on the panel. It's always a great day, the AI Institute that Contact North offers. So happy to be a part of it. Yeah, I am Chris Meyer, and I am a botany undergraduate laboratory coordinator at the University of Guelph. I help to manage and teach three practicals, three plant science undergraduate lab courses here, a mix of second year through fourth year students. And in one of those courses in particular, I do use AI Tutor Pro with my students as a part of an assignment. And later in the session, I'll talk a little bit about how I've integrated that in and how my students have reacted to using it.
Yeah. Okay. And next we have John Rose from Lambton College in Ontario here in Canada. John is working on a government-funded research project using AI Teaching Assistant Pro. And John, welcome to have you here, and just say a word about what you're doing there at Lambton.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. So my name's John Rose. I'm the simulation and immersive learning technologist here. That's technically my title. Basically, it would be more honest to just say campus AI nerd. AI questions and problems tend to come to me. And the particular thing that we've done, among others, that Ron's referring to is a study funded by HECU, the Higher Education Quality Council of Ontario, looking at using AI tutors and related content to hopefully improve student success in anatomy and physiology courses.
Great. Yeah. So there's two of you in a related field. It's interesting. Yeah. And Zalika Suleiman. Zalika, welcome. I met Zalika through actually discovering a study she published using AI Tutor Pro, and I thought it'd be nice to have that kind of perspective, research perspective as well on AI Tutor Pro. Zalika, just say she's from UNISA, University of South Africa. But very large
Yes.
institution. Yeah, just say a word about yourself as well, please.
Thank you so much for the invitation to be here. It's an honor. My name is Zuleika Suleiman. I am from the University of South Africa. I am in English Studies. It's the language department. And just in the language department, we have about 130,000 students. So the modules that I'm teaching are first year and second year modules. We've integrated AI Tutor Pro in our second year modules to support our students. I'm doing research I'm currently doing my PhD. It's also focused on language acquisition through AI to support and enhance it. And my research, I do a lot of publications for my AI project and in journals as well looking at how AI enhances and supports language acquisition. And I've used AI Tutor Pro, and it has supported and enhanced it quite a lot. It's been quite a productive
Great.
job.
Yes. And two others on the screen who won't be participating in the panel. Sarah Gavro, I introduced her before, and Sarah is our Zoom support person right here now at Contact North, also a research associate, and Michael Lavriviere, enterprise web architect, who's supported us in this whole journey for AI, Tutor Pro and Teaching Assistant Pro and other apps as well. So let's get to it. We'll just maybe do a round, just sort of talking about maybe your first impressions of using this tool. I guess what drew you to the tool, and I think just sort of explain the sort of very early stages of using the tool. We'll get on a bit later into the how the students reacted to the tool. But for now, just maybe your first uses, and maybe I could go down to John to sort of, he's my bottom left, and I'll just go up on the screen just kind of that way. John, yeah, what was I guess, how did you come across our tool? How did you know about us, and what did you think of it early on?
So we had a pre-existing relationship with Contact North around virtual reality and other technology initiatives, and how different people were using it kind of ad hoc, who were, I think, discovering it themselves, or we have lots of folks who follow Contact North for the various seminars that you put on. So often I find people have discovered different things the organization's doing because of that. And how this particular project happened was we were actually working with a couple of students who were otherwise quite strong students, but had failed anatomy and physiology. And we were using a 3D tool called 3D Organon. And our dean started experimenting with having one student using the VR headset and then another student being on AI Tutor Pro, and kind of working together between the two, because either one alone kind of wasn't completely filling the need. And so initially it was just an experiment, and that then the Heku RFP came up, and then we put that in, and it sort of snowballed from there. So it just started with playing around basically, and then we started finding what worked.
Good. Yeah, good. Okay, I'll just go up my screen here from your bottom left. I'll go up to Shu Hong and then up to Caleb after that. Shu Hong, yeah. How did you begin sort of your early use of it? How did you find out about it even? Just curious.
Okay, because my team provides training and support for faculty on any e-learning related. So we have been very kind of in close kind of touch with all the trends. One of which was the ChatGPT. So we followed GPT actually from a version 2, but we didn't want to scare our faculty until that Christmas 3 years ago. That was the big kind of a topic before the end of the fall semester. So my team introduced ChatGPT to the campus. Faculty was kind of, wow, that is something new, or oh, I haven't heard about it, that is new. However, at the early beginning of the spring semester of 2020 three, I believe.
Yeah, it
Faculty,
would have
kind
been
of brought,
23. Yeah, things,
yeah,
it seems not, so long ago now in the AI
yeah,
age.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, faculty, brought up, their concerns to me, say, hey, so you know what? I noticed my, kind of class, writing has been improved significantly. All the quiz has been kind of the curve has been lifted up, to 90, 100% to perfect. I suspect something is going on, but I cannot know or catch, what the kids are doing. So we said, yeah, that must be ChatGPT. The students, are the first ones that who always embrace the technology. So that said, then faculty kind of started to ask me, okay, number one, which one can we use? Number two, how do we use? So, in the higher ed, my department doesn't have, additional, budget or resources to buy, like, ChatGPT or Gemini or, one of those kind of, large language models. It is very expensive, I cannot afford it. So that's one thing, kind of I ran into. The second one is that there are so many products at that time, but there is not a specific one that can like work today's agent that you have to customize a lot. So that was what I ran into. Kind of I was trying to find something which is going to cost me less, ideally free, number one. Number two is something that our faculty can use it immediately for their teaching, okay, without do a lot of heavy customization by my team on the front.
Mhm.
So at that time, I followed Ron's TA AI and Tutor AI. I was so happy to find this out and then reported it to the higher administration. Okay, number one, totally free. It doesn't cost you anything and based up kind of ChatGPT. Okay, so that's the best news. I mean, to me, to the university. Okay, I do not have to beg my boss to say, hey, I need more money. That is the best benefits of getting started quick. Number one is free. Okay. Number two is that it works immediately, for the teaching side. For example, okay, you do not have to. I mean, we know. I mean, prior to agent concept, I mean, you have to do a lot of prompting. You have to become that prompt engineer, like a lot of learning curve there. But this one empowers our faculty to jump to their application immediately without doing a lot of prompting. So you just need to either say what I'm interested. This is the specific topic. These are my files, and then just go from there. So in the syllabus, teaching modules, a lot of those wonderful things that you can do. It's a very kind of powerful. We know it's, I mean, today's, agents, we know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I,
Okay. Thanks,
yeah,
Ruan.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope when we get to student benefits, there'll be something more than just free, but I'm sure there will be. But yeah, no, I mean, that's a good motivation. I mean, realistically, licensing, say, ChatGPT for the campus is extremely expensive. Even though there's an education rate, it's still expensive. So anyway, so Caleb, maybe how you early got on and describe, you talked about a faculty meeting where you shared AI Tutor Pro with your colleagues, and that was kind of interesting as well to hear about how you made that first connection with us.
Yeah, so honestly, AI Tutor Pro was my first exposure to AI. I mean, it wasn't too much longer after ChatGPT first came out, and that was such a new thing. And in looking for something that I could understand and something that fit my needs, when I was first exposed to the Grow feature on AI Tutor Pro, just saw how valuable it was for me in my own lesson prep. If I needed to know, you know, information about a specific signal transduction pathway. I was very impressed with how the Grow feature on AI Tutor Pro gave me accurate details that went as deep as I needed to go into the science to understand it. And that's what fascinated me about it. And so that's what I presented. So, with the university settings, we've got lots of different tools, again, going back to when this was all new back in 2022,
Mhm.
2023. And everybody's trying to figure out what this new technology is, and we had brought together a group of faculty across the university to say, hey, how are you using AI in the classroom? And this was something that I presented on, and it was a lot of fun just to invite people up and say, hey, give me your topic, whatever topic you want, let's throw it in here and let's see what it comes up with. And I still remember one of the faculty that was involved in, God, what was it? It was a very specific thing. She was a designer, and
About
they were
fashion
using,
design, I think you
it
said.
was
Was
fashion
that it?
design,
Something like
yeah.
that? Yeah.
And she's like, let's look up, let's see what it says about fashion design in the 1920s, and pulled it up and nailed it. Just she was blown away at what that provided, just the accuracy of it. And so from that experience, at least initially, that was one of my key information resources, and that's what led us to get our students involved, getting them to help learn material. And then we started adopting the check feature, where they could be quizzed on stuff that we uploaded, a textbook, whatever it was. And so, like you've mentioned, we've integrated this into our Anat and Phys courses, where students are required multiple times a week to submit their AI tutor assignment with at least 10 questions that they engage the AI tutor with. So it's been
Right.
good.
Yeah, good, good. That's great. Yeah, so since your early days of demoing it to your colleagues, accuracy has improved. We're on GPT-5, and accuracy is much better, especially when you're getting into the STEM fields and math and in particular, much better. And we've seen some interesting discussions happening in using the discuss tool, like the voice interaction. We saw one student was clearly practicing for medical exams, and the ease of being able to just speak the terms rather than having to type medical terminology, and I'm sure in your field as well, Caleb, the typing can slow you down, but speaking them is very quick. So anyway, this one user, he was on probably for a half an hour or so, just interacting back and forth, and great for that kind of practice. So
Love
I'm going
it.
to go over to my right and talk to Jackie, and then down to Zalika, then to Chris here in the middle. So, Jackie, yeah,
Sure.
how your
Thank you, Ron.
experiences when you first ran across it?
Of course, it was through the newsletter. I
Yeah.
received, I'm a very big fan of this newsletter from Contact North. And when I saw this tool, I was wondering, it is really free. And then my next question was, it is really free for my students? They can use it for free? And we are a public university. We cannot afford, as was said before, buying licenses for everyone in the university. So that was really appealing. But then when I started using it and attending to the web seminars, the interface that is precise for learning or for the teacher. It's an environment. The affordances of the interface is come here to work. And that is very important to me. I study interfaces and this interface calls for learning and for working in an academic setting. That was my first interaction with the assistants.
Good. Yeah, yeah. Just an interesting part about the free aspect, which has been raised a few times. When we introduced the learning shorts, we knew they were going to be expensive to generate, and so Michael and I had planned on implementing a fee for that because it was expensive. And then our director, our CEO, Maxime Jean-Louis, said, "No, no, we're making this free." So, so we brought in the login feature at least so we can control it, so people aren't just using it at random or being wasting our video credits because they are expensive to generate. That's the only part. The rest is relatively inexpensive, so it's not a big cost factor at all to run it once we've got it going. So Zulika, next you when did you do that study? Was that before you were starting to use it, or the one that where you published it? Yeah, you're muted right still.
Thank you
Yeah.
for that. So my study was done after I integrated the AI Tutor Pro into the module, and I saw that it was quite successful. It actually supported the students a lot, and last year we had 100% pass rate, and we had a lot of good responses and a good evaluation on it. This year, in 2026, I actually did a presentation at a conference. It was it was called UMMA. So it was a Middle Mood conference across Africa. And I also presented the AI Tutor Pro and how I use it in the module to quite a good response. And the other universities actually were requesting some guidance and support on how I could integrate it or how they could integrate it into their modules as well.
Mhm. Was it in a English course, a language course that you were using it primarily?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a large scale academic English module. So we literally have about 15,000 students in the module, and we are an open distance e-learning university. So that means that everything is now online. And when we use the AI Tutor Pro, it was me and my colleagues, it actually was a good support for the students because we uploaded the study guide onto the AI Tutor Pro and they were able to engage with AI Tutor Pro and ask it questions, and it gave them the real-time responses to support them. And it was just absolutely amazing. It's also important. We felt it was important for the students. It grounded the prescribed curriculum for them, and they didn't actually. We were happy that they didn't use ChatGPT because we felt that using ChatGPT to answer their assignments and their assessment provided generic answers. So this actually helped to shape and guide the assessment. And like I said, we received 100% pass rate last year. So it was quite good. And from there, that's when I conducted the study and had it published as well.
Oh, great. Yeah. Okay, thanks. We'll get back to the studies, Lika, but we'll go to Chris next. And Chris is using it in one of his lab courses, correct? And
Yeah, I
yeah,
am. And
yeah.
the reason why well, I guess I had first heard about it through Ron. At the
Mhm.
University of Guelph, a few years back, a couple years back, there was a university-wide AI conference. It was
Right.
online, and Ron was one of the invited speakers. And so I've been interested in adopting technology even before AI became a thing into my coursework. And I've been hearing about it, and I know that I'm making an assumption that at least 80% of my students are going to be using it, AI in general, right? So, and and oftentimes, like for a student, it's ChatGPT. That's the first like one that pops into their minds, right? So to get them, for me, it's a little bit of a behavior change. I want them to like pause for a moment and think of something other than ChatGPT. And that other program that I want them to think about is AI Tutor Pro.
Yeah.
Right? So it's because of Ron and getting the word out, spreading the message about this that was really it was a game changer for me. And because of that, now I looked into it. I did a deep dive myself, and Ron had published an article a few years back titled "Personalized AI Tutoring as a Social
Hmm.
Activity."
Hmm.
And I guess we could probably share that. I have the link for
Yeah,
that
I'll
article.
talk about
Oh,
that actually after our panel here. Yeah.
yeah, so that was again another game changer for me is to like read that article and just and think of a way that I could then integrate it meaningfully into my lab space where I do have students not just using individual, of course they can use it individually 24/7, but I have an assignment that they do in lab in a small group, either a pair or a trio of students, where they, as Caleb was mentioning, they go through the check function. They upload my lab notes into it. They ask it and answer 10 questions, and they get that feedback document emailed to them, and they have to submit then a screenshot of the output into and I don't grade it, we don't to us it doesn't matter if they get the answers correct or incorrect. What matters is that they're engaging with it and they're self-assessing. So that's the
Yeah.
most important thing for me.
Yeah. I wonder if on that, if we could just jump back to you, Caleb, but because you're using it in a similar way, maybe you could now go into some detail about how you actually are using it in your course. You've got it, you wrote or co-wrote your own open textbook. Is that there? You're taking chapters from that, are you? And uh, yeah, explain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's correct. So we have our own textbook. It's something that we wrote in-house. The teaching team for these Anat and Fifth series, it's a significant class because we have a lot of pre-nursing students in it. We have a lot of pre-PA, anyway, pre-health sciences. And one of the challenges we've always had, especially doing these aggressive courses as a freshman introductory course, is a high fail rate, right? Low throughput. And we can't necessarily make the course easier because it is a feeder course for the nursing program, right? We want to help the students elevate rather than go down to them. And um, two things as AI starts to develop, right? I'm going back a few years as we're thinking about this. It became clear to us that if we're not actively using this, then we have lost. Not just for us as teachers, but also for the students. This is something that's going to be a significant part of their lives more and more. And one of the critical steps, I think, in helping a student learn how to properly engage AI is to recognize you don't want to give up agency. Your job as a student is to maintain agency through your creativity, not let the AI do your work for you, but push the AI to grow your own understanding. And so asking
Mhm.
questions becomes very valuable in the instruction process, and that's what this kind of devolved into. So we're able to take the textbook that we got and they can either load up multiple sections or just the section that they're looking at, and we want them to ask questions. And in class I will evaluate those questions, similar to what Chris was saying. I'm not super interested in scoring their responses, but I do want to talk about their questions and help them develop, transitioning from foundational questions, the who and the what, to more relational questions, the hows and the whys and the compares and the contrasts, and to what extent. If we can get them to open up their creativity by understanding and asking better questions, they're going to be set up for the future regardless of what AI tech they have to them. And so that was a key driver in helping us integrate this into our throughput.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. Terrific. As sort of a segue to John, because John, you're using it in nursing program as well, aren't you? Well, directly in the nursing program, not pre-nursing, but I believe.
Across 6
Chris.
health sciences programs.
Okay.
So Bachelor of Nursing, Practical Nursing, Paramedic, PSW, occupational therapist assistant, and pharmacy assistant, if I remember correctly. So one of the interesting things that came out of it for us was that we were initially thinking, because we used AI Teaching Assistant Pro to create course scoped AI tutors, because one of the things, of course, that we saw with students just using ChatGPT was that it has no sense of the appropriate scope for a particular student. And so a student gets taken down a rabbit hole where a PSW is getting content that's relevant for a surgeon or something. And it just, because it doesn't
Yeah.
understand scope.
Yeah.
And so scope was a really essential piece for us. And we initially thought, oh, okay, great, one for each course. And what we figured out really quickly was, no, we need to make one for every bodily system. So we actually ended up with a bodily system specific AI tutor essentially for each week of each course. So it ballooned into a much bigger project than we thought it was going to be.
You mean like one for stomach and one for intestine or whatever like that? Well, okay.
Yeah, so one for the circulatory system, one for the skeletal system, etc.
Great.
And then even say what a nursing student and a paramedic student needs for the same bodily system is not exactly the same. Now, the scope is already there in the course content. So we had SMEs go through and kind of figure out what is relevant per system per course. And then, so we ended up creating quite a few instances of AI Tutor Pro, far more than we thought we were going to. One of the nice things about that was that the goal all along was to bundle them in the course shell with some visual, either 3D models or videos or something like that. So the student had that back and forth. And that was actually then much easier because we knew that looking at System X, the tutor they were using was quite tightly scoped to what that student needed for that system.
Great, yeah. I think what we might do here for a moment is pause. And Sarah, I see that there are some questions here in the chat. Are there any that you may be able to summarize for us? And also, if anyone has a question, we will even though you're in a webinar, we will turn on your voice, not video. We'll turn on your voice if you would like to ask a question directly of any of our panelists. And then after that, we'll get into the panelists' views on actual student reaction, how they adapted to the technology and so on. So, Sarah, is there anything there you could summarize? I see anyway, go ahead, Sarah.
Okay, so there was a question for Ron. Have you considered developing a 3-minute presentation, 3 slides perhaps, that could be used to draw attention to the tool and its features that we could use to promote the tool for you?
Oh, a good idea. Yeah. Well, yeah, amongst other things, this is I am retired. My wife keeps saying, I thought you had retired. It's turned into a full-time job, but it's not supposed to be. But yeah, that's one thing we could definitely do. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's very, very true. One way to promote it to the senior management in your institution. Yeah. Anything else there?
There's a question for Zulika. Says Zulika, that was an interesting use of the tool. Do you mean you use the tool to supplement your e-learning program for learners that had questions rather than having to contact faculty with questions?
So with regards to that, we've actually got a digital study guide on our Moodle site. So what we did was, instead of them having to go through all the lessons, we uploaded the whole study guide for them on the Moodle site and on the AI Tutor Pro. And so if they were addressing questions from their assessments, they could literally go to AI Tutor Pro to support them in learning the content and also addressing the assessment questions. So in that way, it wasn't to supplement us as a lecturer, but more to supplement the learning process for them.
Okay, great. Yeah. Is there anything else there? I'm not sure. I don't think
No,
there's
that was
anything.
pretty much the
Yeah.
questions in the chat. I don't see anything in the
Okay.
Q&A.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to ask a question orally, please just put up your hand and Sarah will turn on your voice and feel free to interact then with us. And Sarah, you can interrupt if there is a message from someone who wants to speak. But Anyway, great. So now I want to get to student reactions. We've talked about sort of in general how we're using with students. Maybe I'll turn over to you, Jackie, then. Have you had any feedback on how students are adapting to it? I know we've got the language barrier, the interface, but of course they can use it in Spanish. So that's partly meeting your goals of using it. So I'm curious about that.
Yeah, sure. I've been trying to create more courses for for teachers and students, but the language barrier was one subject. I can use it in Spanish, but I mean, the interface is a shock for us the first time that we get to the tool. But now I have a solution. I wanted to say that I wrote to Ron's asking or inquiring about the translation possibility, but now I have a solution. I just found out the assistance creation possibility. And with that, I can write the instructions for the assistant and naming the assistant in Spanish. So in the interface, I have more Spanish now, and I can program just an assistant. So that's a solution I just found preparing the notes for this webinar. And because it looks more Spanish when I just create an assistant, and an assistant can be really helpful now that I know that I can create that, fitting the assistant with the articles I use in my classes or with the chapters, as Caleb was saying, and giving the instruction of what's the interaction I expect with my students. And they will find this assistant ready and prompt to interact. And the thing that I really like is that I receive a comparative from a correct answer from the assistant and my answer and a value and evaluation. It's just a number from
Yeah.
10, 5, and 0,
Yeah.
but it's a form of saying how well I did. And I can receive this in my email with a summary, with a nice summary. That is very interesting, and I'm planning to introduce this in my next PD courses this June, because now that gives me more opportunity to an interface in Spanish with all the instructions. And I think it's a very precise way to interact with academic material.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe I could jump over to you, Chris, as well about your student reactions to the tool. You're using it usually in face-to-face settings in your lab classes?
Yeah, typically I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
So what I found initially when I discovered AI Tutor Pro and how excited I was about it personally, I would share that with students on the first class day and have a link in our learning management system. But then I found, like, as the semester goes on, that they kind of forget about it. So by integrating the assignment aspect into it, that really helps for them to start using it meaningfully. And then, so after I had done that, after I had created a question on one of the assignments, and then later in the semester, I was um, receiving student feedback about AI Tutor Pro. The vast majority of my students really, really liked it. They really enjoyed using it. And in fact, they were starting to get the word out to their friends in other courses.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
spread,
Good,
like
yeah.
wildfire, which was really great. I was very
Yeah.
impressed by that. That they were using it with their peers in other courses
Yeah.
as well to
Yeah.
help them to learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Good.
it's a good mix of, like, for students to help them study and to test their knowledge, for students who are from low income households, that they have this very powerful program that they can help them to study, and they can of course take as long as they want with it. It's not rushed. They can do it at any time they want to, but also knowing that they can use it within groups too. And plus the discuss tool, that was something that's fairly new, and being able to speak to it is also a very powerful approach to AI Tutor Pro.
Yeah, this idea of being able to practice and maybe even ask naive questions to us, maybe naive, but to the student they're not, and do it without embarrassment is a nice feature. Shuhong, have you had any, you're not using it yourself necessarily, but have you had any feedback from faculty about student reactions to the tool? Then we'll go to Caleb about your student reactions, and John as well, of course.
Okay, so we put Tutor AI and TA AI in our course management system, which is D2L, so that all faculty and students are able to access and use it directly. So that said, kind of, when we promote it to our faculty body, faculty are really so happy with it because number one is that, I mean, think about, the traditional teaching lecturing. So previously, kind of, to help those unprepared students, faculty spend a lot of time, making, the course contents, more interaction, more interactive, to kind of entice the students. However, now, they are shifting that paradigm so that I ask the student to use Tutor AI to practice those key concepts so prior to the classroom. So that means the classroom becomes the valuable time for the faculty to talk about those critical points and answer the students' questions. So this is a big, I think, a pedagogical shift for our faculty and the
Right.
benefit of
Yeah.
students as well.
Yeah. I'm going to be actually talking about the applications like that. Yeah, that's a great use as well. Yeah. I've got to keep an eye on time here too. Then, Caleb, but what about your actual student reactions? Are they finding it a chore to go through it or like a hurdle just to jump, or they feel that they're really benefiting from it? Curious.
Those are the two spectrum, right? And you're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
get both.
yeah,
It comes down to how involved the student wants to be with his or her own learning, right? Those that
yeah,
take ownership
yeah,
of their learning,
yeah.
they love it because it brings out curiosity, allows them to explore in really fun ways. And then there's always going to be that cohort of students that just does it because it's an assignment, and so they just need to check it off. And so there's little
Mm.
integration. And what's interesting is it clearly shows up in the grade book. You can go through and almost to a T, you can say, okay, these people are using this resource well, and these people just aren't. And it shows up in how they perform on the exams. And we can highlight that, and I will in class. This is a good example. This is good engagement. This one, maybe not so much. You're just trying to get done so that you can move on, and it shows up.
Yeah, great. Actually, a question popped up, which I'll ask. It's probably most relevant to you, Caleb and Chris. Do you use AI Tutor Pro or usage of AI Tutor Pro in your evaluation? You, Caleb, my understanding is you use it before you do the formal evaluation, but do you give any participation mark? I know Chris talked about a participation mark for its use, or
They
just
yes,
for, yeah,
so
yeah.
just to encourage them to do it, they will get full points just for submitting the 10 questions, right? We're not
Okay,
evaluating, we're not grading. It goes back to the self-assessment that I think Chris talked about earlier, which is a key part of it if they're actually taking advantage of it.
right. Yeah,
We just want them to engage, and the more they engage, the more
yeah,
comfortable they feel.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I tell them, look, these AI tutors, you can go down to the tutoring center that's down in the library and you can work with students, and that's great. But these AI tutors are better than the student tutors that we have. They just are.
They sure know a
Um,
lot more
they know a lot
than probably
more,
all of us
and
put together here too.
and they're way more accurate, right? You get these student tutors that are just trying to save face because they don't want to look stupid in front of their peers, and they can say some really wonky
Yeah,
things. But
yeah. Chris, I believe yours is the same, but I want to jump to John because he's done some surveys of faculty and students, I believe, as well. So maybe Chris, you did the same. You give a participation mark, I think you said as well. Yeah,
Yeah, just
yeah,
very quickly, I
right.
do. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's as long as they do it, they get the 2 marks on the lab report, and
yeah, yeah.
that's it.
Okay, John. Yeah. What about your survey results? I'm curious if you can share those.
Just before that, one quick point that may be
Sure.
relevant for some folks. We ultimately didn't implement this, but one of the things we looked at, the way that we set it up in the core shell is everything was inside what we called an AI tutor hub. And the students had to go through a very short module that explained how to use the AI tutor and sort of the whole setup of it before they could get access to them. And what you can do, we use D2L, but I think most LMSs will allow you to do this. Giving bonus marks sometimes confuses faculty because they think they got to change their grade book. In all likelihood, your LMS allows for just bonus marks. So your gradebook adds up to 100 and someone can get 101 with an additional bonus mark. And you can tie those to what's usually called adaptive release, right? That someone engaged with something. So if you wanted to do something like that, just for the student engaging with something, explains how to use it or accessing it, whoever your LMS specialist is, they can probably help you tie that to a bonus mark or something like that if you want to do it that way. We ultimately didn't do that and had really great uptake anyway, but I just wanted to point that out. I work in teaching and learning, so these are the sorts of questions we get. In terms of, so we surveyed our students. We had about 200 students in this cohort, and we got 43 surveys back, so the response rate was pretty good. They were all very familiar with me coming into their class and reminding them that they could win a gift card, so that may have had something to do with it. We asked them about ease of use, accessibility, like how easy was it to get at it, help them understand the material, did it increase their confidence, did it make studying more engaging, and their overall satisfaction. Positive responses in the 80 to 90 range. The only one that was lower, we got a 67% for increased confidence. It is challenging material, and so I wasn't terribly surprised that that was the one that got the lowest positive response. And had more neutral responses than the other ones. So there wasn't a lot of negative there, but students were still, not surprisingly, on average, a little less confident than what they were happy with the tool, let's say. And then in terms of kind of the themes that we got from our focus groups, easy to find. The trustworthy piece came up over and over and over again, that students really liked, that they felt they could trust it versus something like a ChatGPT. They liked the fact, because we were using the Check Your Knowledge tool, that it wasn't just answering for them, that it was giving them hints and kind of engaging in a Socratic process. We also demoed it at our open house, and parents loved it. And specifically for that reason, students too, but parents really loved the fact that it was a Socratic questioning process and not just a here's how it works. In terms of some of the negative feedback, it was interesting that it reflected in some ways, I think, AI literacy issues. So one of the things was, it gets repetitive after 20 or 30 questions. And what I figured out from doing the focus groups was students didn't really understand context windows, and they didn't really understand overfitting and things like that, where because it's scoped, you're going to get repetitive answers eventually. And they also didn't understand, because they don't get that it like reads the whole chat as part of the prompt for the next response, that when they switch topics midstream, it would get confused and they didn't know why. So interestingly, a lot of the concerns that we heard were kind of core AI literacy pieces that I think, for instance, I didn't run into because I knew this stuff. And then I realized, I hadn't really tested it as a naive user, basically. So even a very effective tool is still in some ways, we found, limited by kind of basic AI literacy issues.
Did the students they go on with the topic, and then while they're in the same chat session, enter another topic? And it's going to be a bit confounded.
And we actually suggested, and I know, Michael, my understanding is kind of looking at this, a new topic button, so that there's something big there that kind of cues the student, right? And then of course it just clears the cache, and they're essentially, because we were training them to go out and back in, and that bar was too high for some people.
Okay. Our new interface might deal with some of that. It makes it a little more, we don't have that pop-up window anymore. It's a regular web page, and you can just click on the right and go back and start a new one without going through an extra step. Zulika, did you get any, have you had any actual feedback from students on how they found the tool?
Yes, we've actually done some evaluations of the students.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we use when we did the AI tutor chatbot, then we did an evaluation as well. And I actually used that evaluation in my study as well. The responses were largely positive. So it was quite revealing in terms of how they experience learning in the distance education context. That's what I felt. One of the most consistent responses that the students experienced was that of immediate academic support. That's what they've said. And something that they also shared was they felt like it was having a tutor available whenever they needed it. So this is something very significant where we have this digital e-learning space, because usually they feel very isolated. So for them to have this positive response was really great. It was a kind of like for them an on-demand clarification and guidance. And another important reaction was that of confidence and participation. So you've actually see that when we had lessons, question and answer sessions, they actually came and they attended, and they actually had like a good knowledge of the study guide. So it was a great support for them. And also the students felt that it helped them understand difficult concepts. And it's actually something that I discussed in my study as well.
Good, good, yeah. If you have the link handy, you could put your study up there in the chat window. I mean, you have to make sure that it doesn't go just to hosts and panelists, but to everybody as well. Or else Michael can repost it. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
The
yeah,
study.
Sarah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did you want me to share the study?
Yeah, if you share it in the chat window, but make it to
Sure.
everybody, not just to the panel.
I'm going to do that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, Sarah, could you summarize any questions there that are any comments? Again, keeping an eye on our time, I don't want to run over.
Yeah, there's a question for Ron. Could the tool be used, even if not at the moment, to translate a training program from English to other languages?
Yeah, and yes, it could be. Yeah, I wouldn't actually do the translation, but say it's an English document you've uploaded in AI Tutor Pro, and to either tool, Check or Grow. And then you choose, say, the Spanish language, it's going to respond in Spanish. So in effect, it's not really doing the translation of the whole document, but it's doing it on the fly. Yeah, Jacqueline, I guess you've done that, have you? You've had English documents and
Absolutely,
yeah.
it's breaking a barrier language. Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
very useful. Yeah.
If you really wanted to have it uploaded, changed over, you do it in advance, say in ChatGPT, have it translated and then bring that in. But there's no need to. It can be in basically any of our 30 or so languages, and it's going to respond. It gives the source the answers from that language. Yeah, it's good. So yeah. Anything else, Sarah? There, yeah.
Yep. So this question is for Chris from Linda. Would AI Tutor Pro help the University of Guelph's stratospheric project, the research to drive the barcode almost every organism on Earth, insects to mammals?
Yeah, I saw that question, and I'll just start by saying I'm not a part of that project. It is a massive project, the barcoding of life, but it is a big data project, and AI Tutor Pro is like it's for education. It's like a learning tool, and I think that perhaps what we're moving into a different realm here of like big data interpretation analysis. And so, yeah, you could find an AI to help you do that, but I don't think AI Tutor Pro is the right tool for that kind of approach.
No, I haven't tried, say, uploading, not uploading, yeah, uploading a barcode and seeing how it interprets that. Because as I demoed this morning, you can now bring up, uploading documents. You can not only do documents, but you can do pictures. So you could take a picture of a barcode and then upload that, see what happens. I don't know if that'll work. You can also do URLs and yeah, URLs. That's a good way of doing it as well. Yeah. So yeah, and so yeah, pictures, URLs as well as text now. Not we don't document that well. Our new interface will have that better documented. Yeah, just one point that since we're talking about before integrating into the LMS, just again for the participants. If you're not able to integrate it into your LMS, or say you're in a position where you want the campus to have access to it, we have this HECVAC document produced by EDUCAUSE, which is a document that many IT support teams require before they'll mount a tool on the web. And I think we just gave it to Guelph as well, to one of your staff, so that you then they can assess it and then make it available directly to everybody in the LMS, the way Shuhong has done as well. So anything else there, Sarah, that we can?
Well, this is probably directly more to you. This was in the Q&A tool from Rikia. Says, is there a list of universities who have adopted these tools, especially as integrated into LMS like Moodle? Honestly, I'd like to propose this to my university, consider the issue, but I need more convincing proofs.
Are you from a Canadian university? I'm sorry, who asked that? I didn't catch the name.
There's Rikia.
Rick, are you from a Canadian? I have a list of Canadian universities and colleges, but it's no, the issue we have is that we don't ask for identifying information. So what I do is I get AI to to go and search websites. Canadian universities are manageable. There's not that many universities and colleges, but if I say do the US, there's just too many universities and colleges, and the AI will bog down in that search. So what it's basically doing is looking at teaching and learning websites and seeing if AI Tutor Pro is cited there. So I do have a Canadian list, but which I could share if you want to contact me directly at ron@Contact North. Oh, someone would like to see it for the Canadian. Yeah, please email me directly, and I can share that list with you. Yeah. Uh, we again, we don't know for a fact that that list is going to be accurate because that's when the university or college has officially listed it on their website. But individual faculty would, like Caleb, I don't know if it's listed at your university website, but you're using it, and we wouldn't really know about that. That wouldn't pop up in any search. So yeah. Okay. Any other questions there, Sarah, that
Nothing that's popped up since. Oh, hold on. Rosario in the chat has put, you mentioned that AI Tutor Pro can be used with D2L. Does interaction with the Tutor AI interface with the grade applications of D2L? I'm thinking if we have over 500 students, it would be great if the grades are populated automatically.
No, unfortunately, they're not. We're at the very low level of integration where it's level one, it's called, where it's just made available in the LMS. It's not integrated. We are working, partnered with another university, working on integrating it fully. In this case, would be into the Canvas the first time, but out of that may be a project, then an outcome where we can integrate it into all of the different LMSs, major LMSs. So unfortunately, not. We can't integrate it that way.
Ron, I request to you, see,
Yeah.
when you think about, making a deep integration with D2L, can you bring SDSU in your mind so that we can kind of pilot first? Because that's one of the things that I wish list for you as well, that can send the grids back, to D2L, but that must be a deep integration.
Yeah. That would be great to have that. Then all your course resources would be available as documents and so on. So yeah, we're working with the University of Florida on that integration. They're helping it. They've adopted our tutor there, and in fact, they've even this is an example of a university really going full out on it. They've created their own version of AI Tutor Pro, their own user interface, and it's integrated into their whole system. So even though AI Tutor Pro is acknowledged, it's it's a new tutoring system to students and to faculty. They see their own it's called Navigator Tutor. They see their own interface. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, we're getting close to our time. Anything last there? Last us panelists, just any final comments, I think, before I don't want to keep it past our 2 o'clock time. Any further comments people have before we sign off here, and then we'll just move into the next part of the webinar where I'm going to share some teaching ideas with both of our tools, how you may use them. So anything we haven't covered? Is there anything there, Sarah, that we've overlooked?
One
No,
thing
Okay.
I would comment on, just from our experience with it,
Good, John. Yeah.
is it's really important to tell your faculty that this is not a set it and forget it tool, that they need to be engaged with it on an ongoing basis, not least because every time there's a model upgrade, there's the potential for something, at least in the short term, to break. Those things get fixed. But one of the things that we saw was that there were differences in sort of how much people trusted it to just, I put my files in and away we go. And
Yeah.
so even just the beginning of each term, or just ask it a couple questions and make sure, because it's an evolving tool. And I would just encourage everybody to make that really clear. Again, if you're like me and more of a teaching and learning role rather than you're literally the faculty member, reinforcing that message.
Yeah, the good thing for your colleagues and for yourselves to know, of course, is that we aren't ChatGPT is not retaining any documents that you upload. It's not. It's we don't allow that, and that's fine. It works that way. If you turn that feature off when you're accessing ChatGPT, it doesn't share them. It doesn't share any conversations or retain anything. So there's not the loss of intellectual property potentially that could happen. So, with that, panelists, I really truly want to thank you. Some of you have come back several times as well. It's been outstanding to have you join us, share your experiences, and take your time with us as well. So thanks so much, and I'll be in touch once we are able to pull out this conversation as a separate video, and you can share it with your colleagues if you like, or whoever, or whatever. So anyway, I'll be sharing that with you later on. So again, thanks, panelists, and we're going to turn back over to the regular session. I'm going to then turn on screen sharing. All the best, everyone. Thanks again.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm going to turn,
Thank
feel free
you.
to stay if you wish. I'm going to turn
Yeah.
on screen sharing and get back to some teaching and learning ideas now with our tools. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to bring up now as our panel discussion, our colleagues again. And okay, let's take maybe let's just take a minute or so if you want to stretch. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee here, which will keep me going for the rest of the afternoon. And we'll talk about some teaching and learning ideas. Okay, there are a number of ideas. Our panelists showed us some great ideas in the lab course, and Chris, the way he was talking about how he integrated it there and lab activities, the face-to-face activities as well. I'm going to talk about that. And then Caleb with having students to go through, answer 10 questions, say, on topic of the week, and then and submit the results and so on before they took the formal quiz in the course. So some great ideas. So one idea that I like to play with is sort of maybe a bit of a mashup, if you want. It's let's say you have your own syllabus. Oh yeah, you generate your own course syllabus, say in AI Teaching Assistant Pro. Okay, and then you get that syllabus and then feed it into AI Tutor Pro. It can either be copied and pasted, or you can use the version of the faculty assistant where you actually upload it, and all that content will be there uh, for students. So I'm calling this a syllabot activity. Or you can even get your own syllabus, of course, and upload it as a faculty assistant. I say copy and paste. Yeah, you can copy and paste it as well into AI Tutor Pro and have students use it that way. But then individual students would have to do it one by one. But if you upload it through the faculty assistant and AI Teaching Assistant Pro, then it's just available when you share the URL. So in our updates and AI Teaching Assistant Pro updates, we have sort of some more elaboration on that topic. So that's one right off. I've also don't have a slide for this, but it's you can use the study guide. That's a mashup too. So you generate the study guide in the teaching assistant, and then upload that to AI Tutor Pro, and students can be check their knowledge or understanding on the study guide notes. So that do say the long version of a study guide, the longest version, which may be about 1,500 words, that area. And then either upload it through the faculty assistant and give it to students with that unique URL, or else just tell students to upload it themselves, and they'll be quizzed on that content. So that's again a mashup, working at the two tools together. Okay, Chris mentioned the idea of social learning, and I'm going to just talk about that right now. So I published an article. It's at this URL, and And you can copy it, or Michael can paste it into the chat window so it's easier for you. You can just click on it and save it. It's an article I talked about. Well, we always think of tutors as something to use individual, like solitary learning, where students will go off and learn on their own. But I talk about 10 different ideas of how you can use it in more of a classroom setting, a social setting. And here we are with oh, sorry, just let me jump back here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, here we are with the 10 activities that I suggested in the article. Now, there's too much here to sort of go through step by step on each one, but I can just give you a flavor. One of the 10 questions, which I'm going to elaborate on in a minute, um, where you can have students in the class, just in this case, individually submitting, or in groups, they can work on a topic and answer questions on a topic, and then share their table results, see who has the highest score, for instance, and share the results of that summary table, and have a class discussion that flows from that. And immediately you would see the areas where students were struggling with. Role playing is another kind of interesting one too, where you might have students like working together, say one in pairs in a class. This can happen online, I say in class, but it happen online simultaneously uh, in a synchronous environment. One student, say, could play the role of Sigmund Freud, let's say, and the other of Kant. And sorry, Carl Jung, let's say, Freud versus Jung, and give them a problem and see how, say, act as Sigmund Freud and the analysis of dreams. And then you could say the sort of the same with how does Carl Jung interpret dreams, and have so the students then go through in pairs and then compare the results, have a discussion about the results of that. You can use it in blended learning situations where you can give students work to do using on their own out of class, and then bring that into class and have discussions in the class. Language learning now, especially with the voice tutor, is great. You can have students pair up there, for instance, and work in say they're going through exploring a language together. One student can speak it, the other one can answer it and in a different way. Say it in another language. Say you're working, say, learning French and English speakers. One person could work in English, the other could work in French, and they could work together. Some ideas there. Peer teaching is another one. I'll just jump through a few of these. Peer teaching is another idea where you could have students work through in groups, say work through different aspects of a given topic, and then in groups, once they've worked through those questions, they would share what they've learned about that topic with others in their group, sort of this think, pair, share idea. You could certainly use the tool as well. So let me just jump ahead and then next to the 10 questions, and I'll just elaborate a bit on that. So what you can do is just pick a topic to explore, okay, and then break students into small groups, or you can use the whole class. And then tell the students to answer 10 questions generated by AI Tutor Pro within a time limit. Say, give them 5 minutes or whatever, and say, answer 10 questions about that. And then students can post the table, well, on social media, but probably in the class LMS. And then you can see, as I said before, like identify where students are having trouble. And so you could discuss with them the areas where it's quite clear there's some issues, students are misunderstanding the concept. So kind of a fun activity. You could also just have a little bit of a contest going on as well, where the students with the highest score get recognized. You could share their table only, maybe. Just ask the class, well, how many of you got, in this case, it would be 100. How many of you got 100? How many have got 90? And so on, and just work through the class that way. And then again, have a discussion about topics that the students struggled with. So that's the teaching and learning ideas, making a social activity. Any questions, Sarah? I'm not really looking at the chat here right now. I could bring it up, but about this.
Nope, I don't see
No.
any right now.
No, okay. Yeah, good. Okay, we can just jump along here to our next topic. Okay, this was mentioned, touched on a little bit briefly by Shu Hong, I think it was. Yeah. Okay. So with class activities, okay, so before a class, let's say, um, or maybe the first 10 minutes of a class, depending how you want to structure it, say, ask the students to say, review a topic, I say here, photosynthesis. Okay, and then use your check tool and then bring one remaining question like that you have to class for discussion. So each student would be responsible for, or in groups, you could have it, responsible for bringing one question to class, an area where they didn't understand certain aspects of the topic, or if they understood everything, well, then just that's what they could share as well. So you can use it sort of as a pre-class activity. And then next, in class, very simply, even in a lecture situation like this picture, you can certainly say, turn to the person beside you and using a check tool, say at a professional level, you can be as specific as you want, or it could be the grow tool. Answer 10 questions about the causes of whatever. In this case, I said causes of Vietnam War, and then post the summary table in Canvas. And then again, you can have the discussion that way as well. So very similar to what I just described before. Post-class activities. Okay. So say you handed out an article at the end of class about a topic you're covering. You want them to be prepared for next class, to have read it. Tell them, students, to put it into, say, the Grow tool, explore that topic for at least 15 minutes or so, and then save one example you found to help you that is helpful, and then you could get that, they could submit that topic, and then you could upload it to the class discussion forum, or the students could upload it. And then you could have a class discussion around those topics there that might have, again, being areas where they didn't understand, or some feature that they saw unique, an insight that they gained to the topic that could be shared as well. So lots of ideas. Sort of don't think of it again as something the students will go off and use on their own and not come back to it. But in fact, it's a tool that can be used sort of in social activities, social settings as well. So I do want to encourage that kind of use. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Oh, we're at the end. There are the final topics. So what I wanted to do then now, I'll leave up the screen, but I do want to give our website again. And if you want badges for participating in our institute, this is the link. But what I want to do now is just to stop screen sharing here and move into any other questions. Did people have any issues about that during the break when about installing the app to as the Tutor as an app, or the right-click tool for Chrome, or in the LTI integration, or any other questions? This is the time we can spend on it if there are any. So, Sarah, have you seen any here that need to be covered? And anyone, please feel free to pose them now, or if you would like to turn on your ask by voice, you're certainly welcome to do that as well. Sarah can, if you put up your hand, Sarah can enable voice.
Not so many questions, just a couple of
Yeah,
comments.
yeah, okay.
All right. Sorry, Irene mentioned in the chat that she was able to get it done, but struggled a little bit at first. And Rita said she was able to install them successfully. And then Avril asked if you could put the last slide back up so they could capture the email addresses.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's great. Was there any other comments here as well? Um, Sarah, that any other questions?
Well, that's so many questions. Another comment
Comments?
from Rikia said, um, honestly, I was looking for a way to make the flipped classroom principle more student friendly. They are generally lazy to work on their own for class, but now you have solved the problem with your tool. Thank you.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, the flipped classroom is great in theory, but when students come back to the class, you find out that they haven't read the material or studied the material, and so the discussion could fall flat. So, yeah, this is a great way to motivate them, give them something that they have to work through, and then raise questions about whatever they were studying, and and require them to post, say, the summary table or whatever, the transcripts, any aspect that you choose. So that's a great way of dealing with that flipped classroom, which is nice, and I think it is a successful model. But again, it's getting motivating students to go through and read the material. That's always the challenge. Yeah. Any other comments or?
There was a request for more information on the LTI, but it wasn't very specific, so I don't know if.
Yeah. The LTI. Yeah, if some of that person is still here, maybe you could post that again a bit more directly. But LTI is just a way of bringing in AI Tutor Pro and keeping it in the class environment. So when students work through the tool, they don't leave your website. They don't leave your class LMS website. They stay work on it right there, and it's a link right in your website. And it's a very simple integration, and it will work with all platforms, but as I said, some campuses will disable you from using external links. But so like I said, if you're having trouble doing it, it's probably because it doesn't work. It's probably because it's being disabled on campus. So if you look at my videos, you'll be able to see for your own system. And even if it's one of the you're using an LMS that's quite unique, it will work as well. I'm quite sure. It just you have to figure out how you bring in an external link. That's all. Okay. Anything else there, Sarah?
Just taking a quick
Yeah.
look.
Mhm.
Nothing in the Q&A.
Mhm.
Just some comments in the chat about the link. But it looks like once they're in the app, they could cut and paste
Mhm.
and start the link. So yeah, other than those
Okay.
few comments.
Okay. Well, yeah. What I want to do just in closing then, I want to encourage people to send us any comments, suggestions, and use cases because we're always looking to highlight how people are using our tools. And that's very important because so we can share. And if you're ever interested in participating in a panel and sharing your experiences, we'd certainly welcome you as well. So by all means, please feel free to reach out. And if you click on the link in the bottom corner of either AI Tutor Pro or Teaching Assistant, those emails will come to Michael and I, and we can deal with them. So I want to thank everybody for their participation today. It's been great. We're finishing a bit early, but that's fine. I think we've covered everything we intended to hear today, and I hope you've all had the opportunity to ask questions you want. But if you think of others that come up in the meantime, feel free to reach out to us. We're pleased to have it. So with that, I also want to thank you, Sarah, and in particular, and Michael, for your work in supporting this webinar today. And of course, to Contact North for making this tool available to all of us. So best of success in learning and as you're moving towards most of you to summer break, all the best this summer. And we'll be back with some webinars probably early end of August, maybe in September, perhaps. Maybe not the full-length institute, but maybe some shorter ones about our tools, and particular once we've got the new interface going and a few new features, we'll be launching that. So all the best, everyone. Again, thanks, Sarah and Michael, and we'll look forward to hearing from you, and great opportunity to have this chance to share things with you. So bye, everyone, and best wishes.